Alright, what's up, you mermaid fucking listeners? This is the ACPC podcast. And I am here with Arlo the Deli Man Christensen. We don't have a co-host today.
What up, you silly fucks? Alright, so let's get into the first thing we need to talk about right the fuck away from what all 5 viewers. Yes, I've included 1 viewer opposed to our normal 4. Let's get right into UFC 207.
Alright, let's do it.
Let's fucking start right off. Let's go right straight to the fucking main card because
Did you watch the whole thing?
The only fight that I didn't see the entirety of is Kim and Staffordine. That's the only fight. I caught glimpses of it because people were here and fucking there.
But everything else you...
Dillashaw, Lanker, I saw the whole fight.
Wait,
Cruz, Garbrandt.
You only saw the whole main card?
Yeah, I didn't... I mean, for the prelims, let's see, 'cause I was working.
You don't have to yell, you're right next to them.
Either way, I was working. I saw Hendricks, Magny, I saw Magny fuck Johnny Hendricks up, which I was a little sad about.
Yeah.
Go over one. Yeah, I saw your boy Crush lose.
Dude, did you see that fucking Japanese? I didn't even notice that was a samurai.
Yeah, it was a samurai helmet. I saw that.
So
I saw
sick.
that last week, yo.
That's so sick.
Yeah, it's dope as fuck.
Literally
It gave me an
copied
idea
that.
for a tattoo I want on my arm now.
If you notice too, see here on the picture, it's not done yet, and then in the actual fight, it was completely done.
I did not notice that actually.
Yeah, so
I did not notice that.
whenever they took,
I was a little upset at Private Mike Pyle.
got fucking
Horn up. His fucking
Killed by-
26-looking-year-old ass, but it's really 45-year-old ass.
Alex
getting
Garcia.
fucking destroyed.
Alex Garcia should get charged for murder. Do you see the way his head bounced off that canvas?
Dude, it went doing.
Obviously I like seeing a knockout. Like anyone, it's like, yeah.
That knockout.
But then at the same time,
looked
it's like you see someone get knocked down, you're like,
it kind of like a slinky going downstairs.
Yeah.
Just doing.
I don't like, especially when you're fucking 43 and you've been fighting for 8 million years.
Old as shit.
Yeah.
I saw the Brandon Thatch fight. Well, I was very upset that Brandon Thatch lost, actually. I was really upset.
Nico Price looked good in that fight.
No, Nico Price looked very good. He looked very solid, very smooth.
For 5 seconds.
I was very surprised that Brandon Thatch lost that fight as quick as he did, honestly.
I mean, granted, it was a really, really quick fight, but
It was.
Nico Price did look very good. I
Nico
was
Price
surprised.
looked very good. He looked solid through and through, but like I said, I was very upset that Brandon Thatch lost that fight. I was really pulling for Brandon Thatch.
Fun in.
You ain't leaving until it's over now, Nubs.
Sorry, our dog keeps pawing at the door, and I'm sure nobody wants to listen to that. So,
Well, we don't want to listen to it, so. Alright, so, fuck this card. I think the only fight we need to talk about on the prelims is Hendricks and Magny. I think that's the only fight we need to talk about.
because the other ones are, I mean, shit. The only thing you need to, alright, here, let's go over it really quick. Nico Price submitted Brandon Thatch. Nico Price looked really good. Brandon
Looked
Thatch was
solid. Brandon Thatch looked like a fucking rookie, in my opinion.
Yeah,
He
horrible.
didn't know what to do.
Alex Garcia literally killed Mike Pyle and should be charged with
He
murder.
looked like he's a legit contender, that he needs to get someone that's ranked like I would say a 13 to 15.
It was a freak knockout a minute 24 into the fight.
Hold on, we'll get into.
Do you think Mike
knockouts.
Pyle has a chin? He's 43, sir.
What I'm saying though is for him to dominate the way that he dominated though, I think you need to give him somebody that's at least ranked in the top 13, 14, 15. You gotta give him at least a ranked
That's
fighter.
fair.
At least that. That's
I
all
agree
I'm
with
saying.
that. Main event of a fight night card. This Marvin Vidori
Antonio Carlos
Jr. fight. Just eye pokes left and right.
Yeah.
That's
Oh
pretty
yeah.
much all I took out of
There
this
was
fight.
2 stoppages in the first round or something like that.
I think there was 2 in the
there was
first
2
round,
stoppages.
and then there was a second one in the third, or a third one in the second. I'm sorry.
Because after the second one, I can't remember who the ref was, but they said that if you have one more stoppage like that, I'm gonna take a point away from you. Did they take away a point? Because I missed that. I didn't see that one.
I don't think so.
Okay, which is to me insane because the first one, all right, watch what you're doing. The second one, if you do it again, they want to take away a point. So that's usually what happens. The first one's like, all right, don't do it again. The second one, it's always like, all right, hey, if you do that shit again, I'm gonna take away a point. If it happens a third time, you get a point taken away. That's what I think usually happens. But either way, he won decision, so it doesn't really fucking matter. Your fucking boy crush got dominated.
I don't know. I thought he looked a little bit better than.
No, he looked good, but he still. I mean, a decision is still a decision,
Yeah.
which means he won at least 2 of the 3 rounds. So. But so the Hendricks Magny fight, I think, is the only one we.
Oh, actually, really
need to
quick,
talk
do you
about.
know? Do you know why? Like for whatever reason, I thought this dude looked really familiar. And you know what he looks like? He
Who?
looks like every character I make in Skyrim.
He does kind
He
of.
literally looks like every fucking character
If
I
you
make
put
in-
armor on him and from the neck down, he does look like a sky. Like just his face. You're right.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
I will show you after this podcast, and you'll be like, "God damn, son."
No, I believe.
All right, so Neil Magny, Johnny Hendricks.
All right, so.
Neil Magny is also coming. They're both coming off losses. Neil Magny lost to.
I couldn't tell the top of my head, but I know Hendricks has lost. I think 2
I
of his
watched
last
that
3
fight,
fights.
and Neil Magny got pieced up.
Pull up Hendricks too, because I think he's lost 2 of his last 3 as well.
Yeah, Johnny
But
Hendricks.
Hendricks
lost to,
also missed weight by I think a pound. He barely missed weight, which isn't a lot.
Well,
which-
they give you a pound.
No, because
on a
that was a what, a
non-title
170 fight?
Yeah, on a non-title
'Cause
fight,
they
they
give
give
you-
you a pound.
Okay, so I think he weighed in at 173.5. I think the cutoff is 173. I think.
Yeah, Lorenz Larkin. That's what it was. Yeah, Lorenz Larkin KO'd Neil Magny.
Yeah,
at
but
202. Remember,
but
we watched that fucking fight.
yeah, but before that he beat Hector Lombard, who is not a lightweight.
Kevin Gastelum.
Kevin Gastelum, who is not anyone.
Looked fantastic against Tim Kennedy.
Yes, and Eric Silva, who is those 3 fights coming off that is very impressive.
And then
And
a
quick
submission
side
loss
note,
to Damian Maia.
did you know for Neil Magny, he is 2nd in wins in the UFC since 2013, only to Donald Cerrone.
Really?
Yeah, 2nd in wins. He has like a 13 fight,
Shout out to him.
Yeah, Neil
I
Magny is
like
an
Neil
animal.
Magny. I like Neil Magny.
I really do too.
Apparently, he's a really nice guy too. So shout out to him.
Right on.
And then before that, a submission loss to Damian Maia. And before
Nah,
that,
you can't get mad about that.
What the
Damian
fuck?
Maia is a fucking.
Damian Maia is a fucking wizard, and he can
He's a
submit
fucking
anyone.
10th degree black belt in Hindu Jitsu, whatever.
Yeah.
He's a
So
fucking-
0. Okay, yeah, you get submitted by Damian Maia.
You don't.
I don't
you
give a
can't,
fuck who
you,
you are.
Yeah, you
Cool.
can't. Yeah,
It happens.
It'll happen
It
to
happens.
anybody.
Yeah.
Go to Hendricks. So,
alright, so
his,
Johnny Hendricks.
I think he's lost 2 of his last 3. I think. Oh, so he's lost
3 of his
3 in a
last
row. So he lost to Devin Thompson. Can't get mad about that. Kevin Gastelum. Can't get really mad about that. And then lost to Magny, which, shit happens.
Wait. Did he beat Robbie Lawler for the belt and then?
Yeah,
lost one?
They fought twice. The
Shit.
first one was I think a split, right? Oh no, the second one was a split.
Yeah. First one
Yep.
was UNAM. Second one. Damn. He took
Which is-
Robbie
which-
Lawler to UNAM.
Yeah,
That's
it's-
wild.
Oh, both those fights were fucking brawlers.
Especially because Robbie Lawler is a dog.
Even
And
though
he
he's old as
got,
shit,
he got
but
fucked by Tyron Woodley, but
he did.
Tyron Woodley is
Tyron
an
was an animal. Apparently, quick side note, Lawler and I think that's 170, right?
Mhm.
I think Lawler and Bisping are talking about a 185 or like a catch weight to fight.
No, it was Bisping.
No, I'm pretty sure Woodley and Bisping were talking about some catch weight fight.
No, it was Bisping against somebody else. They wanted to do a super fight, and I think 170. It wasn't Lawler though. It was
I think no, yeah, it was Woodley. That's what I'm saying.
Woodley and
Woodley and Bisping were talking about a
Oh.
catch weight fight.
you said Lawler and Bisping.
Did they? Oh, apologies then.
Yeah, it was
Uh,
Woodley and Bisping. I
excuse me.
wanted to say that, but I wasn't sure. Shout out to me for being pussy.
But yeah, I think Woodley and Bisping were talking about a super fight at a catch weight, which would be awesome. I think Bisping still wins because he has the size and I think he has a little the weight. I think Bisping wins that. As much as I hate to say it, I think Bisping would win that fight.
On Woodley.
I think he would. I think because he has the height, the
Oof.
reach, and the weight.
Mm.
I mean, I give Woodley strength hands down because Woodley's a fucking beast. And
Yeah, but I mean, you're not gonna go to the ground with Woodley.
you're not
Bisping
gonna.
is not gonna go to the ground with Woodley, and Woodley is a way better boxer. Well, maybe not a better technical boxer, but he has way more knockout power. So if Michael Bisping wants to stand and bang with him, I think that's a bad fight. I think Bisping would get.
Okay, that's what you're saying.
Well, Bisping has really good cardio though.
He has some great cardio.
Yeah.
Which he lost that Henderson fight. I don't care what anyone says. And yes, I am biased because I'm a huge Hendo fan.
A lot of people would agree with you, myself included.
Joe Rogan
But
agrees too.
Yeah. At the same time though, decision champ. in
Yeah,
his
it
hometown.
goes to a decision. The champ.
The only way
predominantly wins.
the only way that you're beating a champ is exactly what happened on Friday night. So
With Cruz and
yeah,
Garbrandt?
Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute.
Yep.
So okay, so Johnny Hendricks has lost his last 3: Neil Magny, Kevin Gastelum, and Stephen Thompson.
Which
shit, I mean,
yeah, those are losses, but one was
look at who it is.
Two of his last 3 losses were decisions. He had one first round KO to Stephen Thompson, who took Woodley to the fucking decision, and it was a split draw. Yeah,
draw.
it was a draw. So
Remember that Woodley? Yeah, Bruce Buffer pulled a.
what's
his name? There goes the joke.
Host of the
God damn it!
Family
It's too early.
Feud. God damn it! Wow, his name.
Fuck.
His name is escaping us. Shit,
all right.
we're
Well,
bad.
he pulled. It's like right there.
I know it is right there. Fuck.
I don't even want to Google it. I'm ashamed of myself.
Yeah, I'm
All
ashamed
right, whatever.
too.
Bruce Buffer pulled an asshole. That's what he did.
Yeah,
Um,
he did pull an asshole move. But apparently he read the card wrong, which is what Steve Harvey did.
Steve Harvey, yeah.
Steve
he
Harvey
pulled
did.
Steve
He
Harvey.
read the card wrong because the card was apparently wrong or he didn't read it right. Which is a little weird because Bruce Buffer reads a lot of fucking cards every year. A lot of fucking cards. And you read that one wrong, I mean, come on. You give Steve Harvey a little credit because he doesn't host, he doesn't do that kind of stuff on a daily basis. Bruce Buffer does this on,
Right.
I would say, a
But
bi-weekly basis.
This is Bruce Buffer's first slip up in.
How many years? Yeah, exactly. How many
15,
years? I mean,
20
come on.
years?
Yeah, you give him a little break, but
Yeah.
everyone, the interweb
Actually,
fucking gave him a
Very
crucified him.
curious. How long has Bruce Buffer been doing?
Shoot.
As long as I can remember.
Since the early 90s, I think, or yeah, at least the early 90s.
He's 60.
Yeah, he's old as
That's-
shit.
That's him when he looks like 15. But let's see.
He's been doing calling the UFC, I think, at least since the early 90s.
With the exception of his gray hair, he looks really, really good for being 60. He's also jacked.
yeah, he also does, MMA and stuff. Like right there, that picture with the 2 fucking hot supermodels. Same
This
row,
one?
right there.
Sir, aren't you married? Look at that. Dude, if
That's-
I had a body,
that's fine, but those supermodels are fucking fine, and that dude is 60.
I don't know, sir. Look at
I would still
I don't know.
fucking put it in their butts.
Looks like a lot of work.
I would still put it in their butt if they let me. Just saying.
Yeah.
Either way. Alright, so go back to the fight card real quick. Alright, so yeah.
Okay, so the only one we need to talk about then would be Johnny Hendricks, Neil Magny.
Yeah.
I
Magny
think-
looked
I think
amazing.
I don't want to say it's time for Johnny Hendricks to retire.
It's not. No, not
But
yet. No. He still has a
3
lot to offer.
losses.
But I think he needs. Okay,
He needed that win.
He did need that one badly, but this is his first time he's missed weight at 170, but he's also getting older. At the time.
Exactly.
So there comes a point where you need to go up in weight, and I think if he goes to 185, I think he would have a chance. I think he could compete for a number 1 contender.
Let's look at that top 15.
I don't think he would, win it though. He has a chance to compete. So let's pull up the top 10 at least.
How do you pull up just their rankings? I hate how they do it by.
Yeah, they do it funny as fuck.
God damn it. There's a way that you can do it too. I don't know why.
Just type in UFC, was it middleweight rankings?
middleweight.
Yeah, just type that in, and we'll go from there. There we go, right there. Boom.
Alright, cool.
Alright, so just pull. Let's start with right there. Let's go with the top 8. Alright.
Okay, well.
He could beat Kevin Gastelum, I think.
Even though he lost to him before. And Kevin Gastelum looks like a murderer.
But that was at 170 though. That was at 170. At 185.
Well,
yeah.
then wait, then is he even fighting at 180?
It's 185? Yeah. I don't think it'd be Belfort. I don't think it'd be. I think him and Silva would be a good fight. Actually, no. I think about it. I think him and Belfort would be an interesting fight if he would go to it. Ooh, Belfort's gonna fight Gastelum. Ooh, that's gonna be a good fight. Ooh, that's gonna be a good fight. I look forward to that fight.
How old is Vitor though?
He's
dirt, isn't he?
I think he's early or late 30s. I mean, I think he's late 30s.
Late.
Yeah.
Very late 30s.
So he's 39.
39.
Which
yeah,
is right,
he's
and he's off
40.
TRT by the way.
Yeah, right. Which he has been for a while, which is exactly why it didn't look the same.
True. All right, so go back to the rankings real quick for
Shaky.
Hendricks. No, go up. Just go up. Because Hendricks is gonna get a top 10 fight. If he goes on one of
With
these,
3 losses,
he
I
would.
don't know.
He's a former champ. He's gonna get a top 10 fight. I guarantee it. And you
Okay,
know what?
so-
I wouldn't mind seeing Hendricks, Tim Kennedy.
I want to see that.
I would want to see that. I think if you have that as like the third, fourth fight, I think you'd have some draw depending on how strong the card is, or even have that as a fight night.
Yeah, that'd be you could put that on a solid fight night card.
On a fight night, people would pay to see that, or they wouldn't pay obviously, but people would want to see that. I think.
I'd be super excited to see that.
But I would say from 6 up, you got Gerard Musaya,
Musasi. Jesus. Jayard Musaya.
whatever.
Jesus Christ.
Either way, you got Chris
Gegard
Weidman,
Mousasi, Chris Weidman. I
Ronaldo.
would be a liar if I said I know who Ronaldo Souza is.
He's the old boy who just knocked out Weidman.
No, that was Yoel Romero, sir.
Oh, that was your apologies.
Luke Rockhold, Yoel Romero, Michael Bisping.
Yeah, he's
He's
not
beating
he's
anyone
not beating
in
in
the
the top.
top 6.
Anyone in the tops, I would. I think
He's not beating any of these people, dude.
I think the top 5, he's not beating any of those
Look
guys.
at Gegard Mousasi's last 3. Look at Chris Weidman. Granted, Chris Weidman's on a little bit of a downslope with his last 2 fights being losses. However,
Still a top
it's
5
still
fighter.
Chris Weidman. Yeah, top 5 fighter. I don't
Still
disagree with that ranking.
What solidified for me for Chris Weidman being a legit contender and then deserving a top 5 is when he fucking destroyed Vitor Belfort.
Yeah.
That's what solidified it for me. Granted, Belfort was in the later years of his career and stuff like that, but still
Vitor.
he still dominated him, hand down, just dominated him. And I hate Bisping being the number 1 contender. I hate Bisping. I do not think he is the. I think. I think Johnny Hendricks would beat Bisping. I really do. I do.
high?
No, I do. I truly believe that Hendricks would knock Bisping the clean out.
But
really
you
do.
think that Bisping would beat Woodley?
Different fighters, different
Oh,
styles.
get the fuck out of here. Okay, on that, I'm gonna take a break, piss, and coffee. I'll be right back. All right, we're back here at the ACPC podcast. Arlo has actually left, and in his place is some idiot I got off the street that thinks Michael Bisping would get knocked out by Johnny Hendricks. So here we are to explain his reasoning.
Here's my reasoning. All right, so Hendricks and Dan Henderson have a very similar style, very very similar style, and Hendricks is a lot younger than Dan Henderson. Okay, they have a very very similar style. You know, the big, powerful overhand left hooks and stuff. I truly believe that if Hendricks can land those those overhand lefts or those overhand rights, whatever the fuck it is, if he can catch him, I think that Hendricks would win. I really do. I think Hendricks would beat Bisping.
The way he's looked in his last, because I've seen his last. I think I watched his last 2. I watched him at 200, which I think was he lost to Kevin Gastelum at 200.
Yeah, but Gastelum is no slouch though.
Yeah, sure.
Gastelum's not a slouch. You can't.
And yeah, right. But then he also just got. Okay, do you think Neil Magny would beat Michael Bisping?
Yes.
What the fuck?
Yes.
I know you hate Bisping, but you
I
gotta
hate
give it
Bisping.
to him, dude.
No, I will never give it to Bisping ever.
Could
I will never.
alright.
I will never give it to Bisping.
Could Hendo beat Neil Magny?
Oh, that'd be a good fight. That would be a great fight.
Only
If Hendo came
actually,
back,
that's kind of true. Just 'cause
that would be a really good fight.
If the Hendo that we
I
saw,
don't know. The Hendo, if we see the Hendo against Bisping, that Hendo come back and face him, then that's going to decision, and I would call it a toss up. I don't know. If it's the Hendo, we're talking strictly the Hendo that came against Bisping.
Right, not Hendo from 6 years ago. That would
Exactly.
Just
That would.
drop bombs on
Mhm.
people.
Well, he still drops bombs on motherfuckers,
Right,
but I get what you're saying. That would be a great fight. That would be a good fight.
Johnny Hendricks had that badass beard.
Needed to have that badass.
I was
beard.
really hoping he was gonna win.
I
Simply
did
because
too.
of that beard.
Yeah, I thought if he brought the beard back, he's gonna win. Anyway,
There's
alright.
nothing worse than when there's like 2 guys that you like fighting each other because you're like, fuck. can't
Who
they
do you?
both win?
Yeah, who do you root for then?
Can't they both win?
Yeah. Alright, let's go to the main card. Alright, so I didn't watch.
Smolka Borg.
I watched a little bit of
okay.
that. I
First
didn't
off-
watch the whole thing.
First off, Ray Borg looked fucking phenomenal. In the first 30 seconds, Smolka was.
Yeah, I remember
He-
watching that, and Borg just,
They if I remember correctly.
Borg manhandled him.
Yeah,
like
Borg just fucked him up.
Borg just controlled.
I
the whole
remember
fight.
for the first minute maybe of the first round, I was like, shit, Borg looks like shit. And then Borg was like, huh? And just fucking.
He heard you talking shit. He's like,
Yeah.
huh?
Huh?
Who the fuck do you think you are,
Well,
Peter?
and he's also I mean, we're both from Tucson, so.
You're true.
Or well, I'm not from Tucson, but I live in Tucson and he's from Tucson, so.
Yeah, I was. From what I saw, I saw that fight. I was a little surprised in how
He also missed weight.
fast,
He missed weight by 3 pounds.
and still won very handily.
Well, you're right, but
Yeah, he still missed weight.
if anything, that helps him. 3 pounds at. I
Yeah.
think they fight at what, 125?
Yeah.
The fuck? That's a huge difference. If it was 3 pounds at 205, I'd be like, yeah,
So
whatever.
the Kim Safadine fight. So this one I thought was a very interesting fight. I
Yeah.
thought Safadine won that fight. I really did. I thought Tariq
I
Safadine
kinda
won
felt
that fight.
too.
I really thought Tariq Safadine won that fight. I thought he had better control. I thought he was the more crisp fighter and landing what he wanted to land and yada fucking yada. But I really thought Safadine won that fight. And I was actually really surprised that it was a split decision.
You know, for me, watching. So, for this card, I had, I think, 8 people over,
Mm-hmm.
right? All homies. We're all just sitting around, drinking beverages, having a good time. And I'm not gonna lie, as much as I enjoy watching UFC, it is really hard when the rest of the room, the only people there's probably 3 of us that had interest in every single fight. That'd be me,
Mhm.
Taylor, and our buddy Kyle, right?
Mhm.
Who, Kyle's he's huge into UFC. He's huge into football. You should have him on sometime.
Definitely.
He knows his shit too. He knows way more than me about football. Which, I mean,
Excellent.
granted, I don't know a shit ton, but
Yeah,
Anyways,
we should have him on next week if he can.
but yeah, he knows a shit ton about football, and he likes UFC a lot. Doesn't know a whole lot about it, but
He
did,
knows enough
back
to
in
where
the
he can
day.
keep the conversation
He
going.
he used to play the video games way back when, and he used to watch a
Yeah,
lot
like,
of cards.
like
way
I
back
said,
when.
he knows enough to where he can
hold his own.
He can hold his own. He knows what
Right.
he's talking about.
So the only 3 people that would really have interest in watching fights go to decision would be us 3. And the
True.
problem is when you have fucking 9 dudes stuffed in a room watching UFC, everybody wants to see people get knocked out, right? Because we're all fucking dudes. Personally, I just like watching a fight, but the other 6 people that were there that weren't me, Kyle, or Taylor, they all wanted to see knockouts. So we watched the first fight, the Thatch Price fight, submission. We're like, oh, cool. We see Private Pile get killed.
Mm-hmm.
We all go nuts, right? And then the next 4 fights go to decision, and when the rest of the room is kind of oh, fuck UFC, these are all boring, they're just going to decision, it's really hard to stay and watch the fight.
Yeah.
So I can't 100%, I watched Borg piece up Smolka,
Yeah.
and then I kind of watched this Carlos Jr. Vittori fight, I watched the Hendricks Magny fight, and then I kind of watched the Safadine Dong Young Kim fight.
Staffordine, I thought won that fight hands down. I really thought
Because
Staffordine
that's
won that fight.
with
I was
my
st-
minimal knowledge on it, on watching the fight, that's kind of how I felt as well.
Yeah, I think we watched about the same amount of the fight, but because I was at work and I had to take care of tables and shit like that. But from what I saw, it looked like Staffordine controlled all 3 rounds. That's what it looked like when I saw it. That's what I was really surprised that it was a split decision.
Well, okay, hold on. Look at the difference. Striking alone, Safadine killed him in it.
I mean, unless I missed the entire ground time when Dong Yong Kim was, piecing him up, but I don't know. I really thought Stephanie. I mean, hey, good on Dong Yong Kim. I mean, he's won a bunch of fights. He's probably
21-3, dude.
yeah. He's one of the
His
most
record is
underrated
crazy.
fighters. I think that was a 170 fight.
I want to say 205.
I don't think it was two. No way.
No, yeah, welterweight.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
170. Yeah.
I don't know why I was thinking 205.
Yeah, Dong Yong Kim has always been, I think, one of the more underrated fighters at 170 because
He
he's
has
always been
3
in
losses.
that.
He has
He's always
3
been a
losses.
top 10
Carlos
fighter.
Condit, Damian Maia, and KO by Damian Maia. God
That's impressive for Maya. For Maya.
Yeah, what the fuck? And then round 1 KO by Tyron Woodley.
You can't get mad about that. But so so he's 3-0 in his last 3 fights, or you would even say go to his second loss. So he's what?
4 out of his last 5.
You could say he's won 6 of his last 2 fights, or 8 of his. He's won 8 of his last 2 fights.
And the 8 of his last 2.
Yeah, he's won.
He's won 8 of his last 2 fights.
Yeah. Wait, 3.
Wait a minute. Are you hearing yourself? He won 8 out of his last.
Oh,
2
sorry.
fights.
He's 8-2. 8-2. Sorry, apologies. So
he's 8 out of 10.
So he's won 8 of his last 10 fights. Apologies. Sorry, everybody. Yeah, he's always been a legit fighter, but I was saying this to this one guy at one of my tables that night. Is like, I really
he
hope.
doesn't fight very often though. Look at this, 2 fights a year.
But I was always saying, I'm happy that he won because I've always wanted that Pacific Islander area, like Thailand, Japan, China area, in that general vicinity. I've always wanted those fighters to break through because that's an area that
a really good one, yeah.
Yeah, because there's never been a legit fighter from that area who can come in and dominate. And Dong Hyun Kim is the only guy, and he's from South Korea.
Yeah. Well, there was that one dude.
But what I'm saying though is that if he can do that, then it kind of gives little hope to other fighters. Like, oh, look at Dong Hyun Kim. He's over there and he's taking on the best in the world, and he's winning consistently too. So that might spark the younger generation coming up. Maybe we have who knows? Maybe in 5 to 10 years we have flyweight men's champion from Japan and maybe a fucking bantamweight champion women's from Thailand or something like that. Who knows? I mean, with him winning, maybe it sparks that little uprising. That not uprising, I'd say, but more that get to.
Right,
So.
you'd think like I feel like there isn't a whole lot of like Thailand fight, like people from Thailand, right, with Muay Thai obviously in the UFC.
You would think that, but Muay Thai is completely different than the UFC. Muay Thai
right,
is
I know that.
Stand up. It's basically Muay Thai is
like
literally
clinch work and kicks.
Yeah, it's clinch. It's basically kickboxing and boxing combined with some clinch. And there's zero grounding.
A lot of bows.
There's a lot of bows.
A lot of bows.
And speaking of bows, when we get to it, the Cruz Garbrandt fight. When we get to bows. Yeah.
That fight was so sick.
All right. Anyway, so let's go to Dillashaw and Lineker, which we don't need to talk much about because TJ Dillashaw dominated from beginning to end.
Yeah.
We don't
you know what
need
I'd like to see though? I really
this.
like to see how they were like Dillashaw won and Lineker was like fuck, and then he like hoisted him up at the end. Like I don't know. I like to see shit
because
like that.
I like seeing that because there was a little bit of shit talking, but TJ Dillashaw completely.
What the fuck? I'm pretty sure they're homies, or they were like hugging and shit.
Well, yeah, they might have trained at Alpha Male, and they might still be homies that way. But Alpha Male hates TJ Dillashaw in the breakup they had.
Right, but
but you can't get mad at him because he went to go. Who did he go train with? What's his name?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Fuck, what's his name? I saw he was there. He's a trainer. He moved to Colorado to train with him.
I know what you're talking about.
Fuck, whatever his name is, I can't think. He was a former UFC fighter, and he's a amazing trainer, hands down. I think he kind of gives Jackson Winkle, right? I think Winklejohn. That's it. Sorry, I think he gives those guys combined a run for the money with the way that he trains, like the way his mindset for seeing into fights. I think. What's his name? God damn. It's pissed me off I can't think of his name. But, God, it's gonna piss me off I can't think of his name on top of my head because I saw him at the fight and said, oh, that's blah 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 blah. But, the former Alpha Male head coach, I think, is one of the best coaches. Oh,
Dwayne Ludwig?
Dwayne Ludwig, that's his name. Yep, that's it. Dwayne Ludwig. He's a former UFC fighter. Dwayne Bang Ludwig. Yep. He's a former UFC fighter. He had a solid UFC career. It wasn't a thing special, but he is hands down a better coach than he was a fighter.
awful record, but
Yeah, I mean he was solid. He
Not
was he was a
world
solid
beater
he
by
was a
any
solid
means.
UFC fighter, but he is hands down a better coach. But
Well, look at the last card. Look at like the last 3 he was on. You have Struve Miocic, which is funny because
yeah, Miocic's now the champ.
yeah,
but
now the
yeah.
champ. That was 4 years,
Lost
5
to
years
Shane
ago.
Mills, lost to
And
Barty,
then
and lost
Dos
to
Santos and
Josh
Mir.
Neer.
That's crazy. These are like
And
all wild.
two of his
throwbacks.
last 3 losses are guys that aren't even in the UFC anymore.
yeah. Well, okay, whatever. So he's kind of like a second string quarterback that goes on to be a head coach.
And turns out to be a
He
fantastic
turns out to be
head
a
coach.
fantastic head coach. Just
Yeah.
a guy that knows the game.
He just
doesn't
knows.
have that
Yeah, he
athletic
knows how to
cognitive.
develop with the game. He just didn't have the skill set.
Right.
And I remember they were interviewing one time, or one of his fighters. I can't remember what it was. And when he goes into any film session, he always takes a massive bong rip, and then smokes a J while he watches film.
Dude, that's
In his like his little office, he just fucking takes a massive bong rip and just smokes a J while he watches film.
a really good way. Really good way to.
I mean, you can't
to learn.
You can't not. I
Wow.
mean, y'all want to say what you want about him, but with the way Alpha Male was before he left, and the way that his fighters now at his own personal gym are fighting, which I think his biggest one is now Tito Dillashaw, but still with Alpha Male when he was there, I think when he was the head coach with Alpha Male, I think the Alpha Male fighters were something crazy. I think they were like 12-2, and the 2 losses were in title fights.
Mm-hmm.
It was something insane like that. But apparently there's a lot of bad blood because Dillashaw left Alpha Male and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And he went to go train with Ludwig. But, yeah, I think Ludwig's a fantastic trainer.
Does every coach need to start smoking pot before filming?
I mean,
Is that
I
the
don't,
key?
I
Is
don't
that
think.
the true key?
But you look at Greg Jackson and Winklejohn. They don't. They might, but I don't think they fucking take bong rips and then smoke a J while they watch film.
Very true. All right. Well,
Which is onto this fight, Cody Garbrandt, who I thought dominated, absolutely dominated Dominic Cruz the whole fight. He's a alpha male fighter. And speaking of alpha male, they never had a head coach for like 3 to 5 years. They never had a coach.
Really?
It was just a bunch of guys that were, I think, 145 and below. They all got together and they just trained together and they helped each other out. They never had a certified head coach
Cool.
until Ludwig came in, and he's like, "Hey, let me be your guys' head coach," something like that. And they went 12-2 under him.
Damn.
And then when Ludwig left because he his family lives in Colorado, and I think Alpha Male is stationed somewhere in Sacramento or something like that. I don't know
I
exactly.
don't know.
But when he left, his last actual fight with Alpha Male was when Dillashaw won the title. That was his last like fight with Alpha Male. Then he went back to Colorado to open up his own gym. Excuse me. Or to focus on his own gym, sorry. And that's when Dillashaw left with him because, why the fuck wouldn't you want to go with your head coach? If you got your title shot, why not move with him and train with him? Apparently there was bad blood, yada yada. But yeah, Cody Garbrandt and Dominic Cruz fight was awesome.
Holy shit.
Holy shit, that was a fantastic
I was like,
fight.
at first I was like, dude, I think Cody Garbrandt's gonna lose.
I did too in the first round. I thought he was gonna lose. I did, but
Not even the first, but like, no,
No,
no. He no. I mean, like coming in before the fight happened, I was like, Dominic, like if you put a gun to my head and gave me $100 to bet, I'd put all $100 on Dominic.
I would have too.
Cruz.
But
like,
the way Garbrandt just
fucked him up.
Garbrandt looked like Dominic Cruz in that fight.
Yeah.
He did. Like he was ducking and diving and weaving and stinging like a butterfly and yada fucking yada.
That was a wild fight.
That was a great fight. And that elbow he hit him with, that gash the size of a fucking dollar over his Cruz's left eye. Holy shit. Like
Yeah,
and Garbrandt's only 25. He's my age.
yeah, he's young as shit.
And Cruz is old. I think Cruz is like in his early 30s.
You know what it was? We were talking about this during the fight. It's the tats. If you have a neck tat,
You know what I think won
gotta
that?
be a
You know,
badass.
honestly, what I thought won that fight for Garbrandt was the leg kicks, because he landed a lot of leg kicks, which they don't show here. But
you know what's
Garbrandt-
funny is in the striking. Like, that's weird. Down according to this, but it's like this is weird. I don't remember Cruz landing a fucking hit on him, but
yeah, I don't remember him landing a lot
yeah,
of
what
punches.
the hell? Like it says Dominic Cruz was
Ouch.
95 out of about 300 for about 30% for total strikes, and he has more significant strikes than Cody Garbrandt.
Which
But Garbrandt, I think didn't Garbrandt knock? Yeah, Garbrandt knocked him down twice. I remember that.
no, he knocked
correctly.
him down 3 times. In the fourth round, he knocked him down 3 times. I saw that 3 times he knocked
That's
him down.
true, yeah, what
Which
the
is
fuck?
why I don't know
Come
why
on,
they have
UFC,
3.
Get your shit figured
And
out.
it was pissing me off because in the 3rd round he knocked him down also. He knocked Cruz down 4 times. There was 3 in the 4th and once in the 3rd.
No. I think it was like.
Or was it all in the
no,
third?
I think it was like one. Or it was 2 in the 2nd, 1 in the 3rd, maybe 1 in the 4th.
Either way, there was the first time he knocked him down when Cruz got literally he was on his back and then went down to like recover. He's like in turtle position for jiu-jitsu. I was like, Garbrandt, finish him, fucking finish him, because then Cruz came up with his head like his hands were down. Like, dude, throw the knee. Like I
Just
saw that, and I'm thinking, throw the fucking
I'm
knee.
thinking
You would
Yoel Romero, Chris Weidman.
He's I'm like, dude, why aren't you knocking him the fuck out? Like you throw that knee right there, you're gonna fucking finish him. You're gonna break his nose, detach both eyeballs from your retina and everything. Like you would have destroyed this guy. But he won the fight. He had a game plan and he stuck to it. So I can't get that
his
mad
game
at him.
plan was fucking doing push-ups and
Doing push-ups
dancing.
and breakdancing.
Yeah.
But I
it
mean,
was
yeah.
so gangster.
Let him fucking do what he wants. He won the fight, so you can't complain.
I like both guys too. I like Cody Garbrandt because he's a fucking badass.
Oh, he's a
Prob-
badass.
Probably killed 15 people.
More than
And
likely.
I like Dominic Cruz.
Hell though, best part of the whole fight is the very end when he gave the belt to that kid.
That little
His
cancer survivor kid.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was
beat
dope.
leukemia, put the belt around him, let him keep it. Garbrandt said that he'd buy his own belt, let the
So
kid
sick.
keep it. Fucking what a guy!
What a
Like
guy.
that, like I'm getting goosebumps talking about
Yeah.
it because what a classy move. Like that, who would have thought that Garbrandt? I mean, you look at him right here in this picture. He's fucking yadded up, got a huge ass neck tattoo and everything like
So
that.
you know he doesn't have a career outside of the UFC.
Oh, hands down, but
UFC and B movies. That's it.
and
That's
an,
all you can do
and
with
an
neck
auto
tattoos.
and an auto mechanic.
And an auto mechanic. That's it. You have three career options when you have a neck tat.
I completely agree. But I thought that was the most classy move I've seen in a very, very long time.
Yeah.
He wins
Which is funny because they were talking shit the whole fight.
the whole fight. But Garbrandt looked, and I really, really hope that they don't do Cruz Garbrandt too. I want to see Garbrandt, Dillashaw. I want to see that fight
That's
more
the
than
next.
anything.
That's the next.
Which
fight.
I thought was funny as shit when after Dillashaw won, because I think Dillashaw thought that Cruz was going to beat Garbrandt. He was like, Dominic Cruz, you're a bitch.
You're a bitch.
And I was like, oh shit, Cruz,
Well,
let's go. Let's see the
Dillashaw,
second
He
fight.
said it in the interview. He's just been beating number 1 and number 2 contenders left and right,
That's true, but
and they haven't
then,
given him a title
which
shot.
I thought was hilarious, and then Garbrandt comes out and just tools up Dominic Cruz, who is hands down probably one
Hall
of
of
the
Famer.
best. Oh, hands down, Hall of Famer.
Surefire Hall of
I
Famer.
mean, how many guys come back after 3 ACL surgeries? Whatever knee it was. He tore his ACL in his left knee, let's say, and then got the replacement in his left knee. That didn't stick. Had to get a second one in his left knee, and then tore his right one in training. Had to get his 3rd ACL surgery in his right knee. Comes back, wins the title, and then defends it. I mean, fuck.
He defended it a couple of times, didn't he?
No, he won the title and they defended it once, I think. I'm almost positive he won it and then defended it once. Yeah, he beat
Yeah. Yeah, beat Dillashaw, then he beat Uriah Faber.
and then lost to Garbrandt. Yep.
Okay. And then before that, though, we had the 125 belt?
No, it was 135. Yeah, because he beat Faber for the inaugural belt, and then he beat Johnson to defend it.
Huh.
Yeah, because Johnson was at 135, then he dropped to 125. And then Johnson just decided to go on a fucking tear and be probably the best champion the UFC's ever, the most underrated fighter, hands down, without a doubt, in the UFC.
Didn't look too hot in that Tim Elliott fight, though.
I don't care. He hands down what is the most underrated fighter in the UFC.
Sure. Okay.
Hands
yeah,
down.
that's I can agree to that.
Yeah, because he had that tune-up fight, and that's after he tore his other ACL.
Yeah, 22-2.
The kid's amazing, and he born and raised in Tucson, in the fucking trailer parks there, right by Flowing Wells. Went to Flowing Wells and wrestled there.
Yeah, no. So
he's a Tucson
so
kid.
our high school head coach. I texted him. Let's see if I can. pull up the
Dusty
message.
Peace.
Old Dusty. Let's see. Okay, so I texted him. I was like, "Hey, coach, it's Peter. Just I didn't know if he had my number or not. It's like, hey, I gotta ask if you know Dominic Cruz. He went to Flowing Wells, which is the high school that they both went to. Do you know him? He went to Flowing Wells around the same time as you." And he says, "Yeah, I put him in garbage cans as a kid," which is funny considering Dusty Peace is, he's a high school football coach, big guy. Don't get me wrong, could probably piece me up. And then Dominic Cruz in the UFC, but I called his I said bullshit, and then he's like, "I'm not joking. He's my boy though." And I was like, "That's dope as fuck. Give me some tickets. I'd love to meet him." And he said, "We went to Vegas when he won his first title," and I said, "That's cool." And then he said he was watching the fights, and we kind of bullshitted for a couple messages, but yeah, that's that. So Arlo went to go take a piss. In the meantime, I think the thing that's most wild about Garbrandt beating Cruz is that I think it's incredibly difficult to take the champ to decision and win it. Look at Hendo Bisping. A lot of people thought he won that fight. I think he did too. Look at Diaz McGregor. I think Diaz won that fight. That one's really 50-50 depending on who you talk to. But I can also see it going both ways. But taking the champ to decision and beating them is absolutely insane. Because I've always been of the school of mind that not that I think the better man should win the fight, but I think that the UFC constantly... What? I already did. Alright, fine. I don't know why you're whispering. I guess if anybody would be like, "What the fuck, bro? Why are you interrupting this conversation?" Anyways, so I've always been of the school of thought that the UFC, or really any fighting organization, boxing, whatever, in order to beat the champ, you either have to absolutely dominate them or win via a finish. And the fact that Garbrandt beat Cruz
handily.
And
the fourth round was hands down a 10-8 fight.
Yeah.
Hands down a 10-8 round.
I give Cruz.
Which you don't.
I give Cruz the second round. That's about it.
Yeah, like seeing that fourth round. I watched the entire fourth round. Like I sat in my fucking little corner and I watched all 5 minutes of it just like this, and I was like, at the end of it, that's a 10-8 round. That is hands down a 10-8 round. Cruz didn't do shit.
Yeah.
And you don't see many 10-8 rounds. As much as people think that, oh, that's a 10-8 round. The guy controlled it. He landed a punch. He tried for a takedown. Yada, yada.
With the new rules, there's more 10-8 rounds now.
To an extent, but you still don't see a lot of them.
Right.
Though. There's more than there was before, like before the new rules. But
yeah, with the old rules, you literally had to murder somebody to get it.
Oh, you did. Round. But you do see a lot more of them than you did. But there still isn't a lot of them though. And
has there ever been a 10-7 round?
You'd have to the other guy couldn't.
You would have. I was thinking about this last night.
If you and I fight, and let's just say you knock me down 5 times, and I landed maybe 2-3 punches.
They'd have to stop that.
No, like with Cruz and Garbrandt, that was kind of knockdowns. Like you knocked me down, but I got the fuck back up. Right. I was good to go. Like if you knock me down, say 5 times, and then we'll say 2 punches out of the 12 I threw, then I think depending how dominant and controlling the ring you were and yada fucking yada, then that could be a 10-7, possibly. But you have to be completely controlling.
You would have to throw...
It would have to be
You would have to throw 25 punches. I would have to counter every single one. I would have to land 100% of my strikes.
It's a way. I would have to throw CM Punk type punches.
Yes. You would be CM
and
Punk.
Land maybe 1.
I would be... Okay, you would be CM Punk, and I would be John Jones, and I would choose to not knock you... Okay, wait, hold on. Let me choose a proper one. I would be Tyron Woodley, and you would be CM Punk.
Okay.
And I would have to choose to not knock you out, and just dominate you.
And just land those selective punches.
And maybe that would be a 10-7 round.
Maybe.
I want. Let's see. Has there ever been a 10-7 round?
I don't know.
I doubt it.
I know there's been a couple 10-8s, but I don't think there's ever been a
10-7 round. Let's see. Reddit, don't fail us.
Reddit, I don't think has ever failed predominantly.
Oh my god. Forrest Pets versus Sammy Morgan, whoever the fuck they are.
was scored 30-23.
Holy shit!
I would like to watch that fight.
I
'cause
would
that means
love to
somebody
see that
got
fight.
fucked.
You should just copy paste that and save it for later so we can watch it after this.
I think one of the judges actually scored the third round 10-6. Jesus fuck.
I mean, that's
this
just
is all speculation though. I'm not seeing any.
we'd have to watch the fight for ourselves to get a general idea of it.
Oh, you know what? You could, due to a 2-point deduction, eye pokes and all that junk.
Oh, okay, so that doesn't really count. I mean, it counts,
It counts,
but
yeah.
it doesn't. I mean, we're talking more just straightforward, no fucking points taken away.
No, I was
deductions
thinking
type
about it.
thing.
Here's what you'd have to do to get a 10, like less than a 10-8, is I would have to knock you out, right? Clear knockout, and then on your way down, you would have to wake up, bounce back. I'd do it again later. You'd then bounce back again, and then, because if it would happen a third time,
Before
it
you
should-
come in, catch you maybe with
No.
just a lucky punch.
No, and then,
But
and
you
then we
know,
would just kind of, be going at it. Obviously, I'd have full control the whole time. I would just stick in a full mount and just rain bows, but somehow not knock you out. And then, with like half a second left, I'd have to clock you, and then as the round ends,
I miraculously
you
recovered.
miraculously recover. I'd have to knock you out 3 times, and then maybe that'd be like a 10-6.
Maybe.
But
Yeah, Garbrandt looked like an animal. I'd rather see Garbrandt, Dillashaw than Cruz Garbrandt
yeah,
too.
me too.
I mean, I would rather see that because I think that the shit talking, the build to that fight, just because you have the former alpha male champ versus the current alpha male champ going against each other. I
It'd be
mean,
a wild fight.
that'd be and just because the way Dillashaw looked, I mean, how do you deny Dillashaw the title shot
Completely
now?
shut down.
I mean, the way
Whittaker,
Cruz looked in that. I mean, yes, Cruz is still the former champ, but the way Garbrandt dominated him, I think for 4 rounds. Yeah, I think you have to do Garbrandt Dillashaw. But it's Dana White. You never fucking know.
It's a business.
It is.
They're gonna do whatever's the biggest draw. If fucking Garbrandt stun gun is a bigger draw, then that's what
Then
they'll fucking
yeah,
do.
they'll do whatever the biggest draw is. But I truly think, the bigger draw would be Garbrandt Cruz 2 because I think Cruz is a little bit more of a household name. I want to say. Than Dillashaw, but I think I don't know. If Garbrandt fights Cruz or Dillashaw, I won't be mad.
No, Cruz is not a very big draw. For people that know more about the sport, yes.
I think
but for the majority of fans, which
most
of them don't
I mean,
know
either
a
fight,
lot.
I wouldn't be mad with Garbrandt Cruz 2, but I also
would
wouldn't be
be,
sad with
because Cruz
Dillashaw.
would have to come the fuck back and pull
But
some
here's
ridiculous
here's
shit
what
to avoid exactly what happened.
I wouldn't be mad with it, but I'd be more happy with Dillashaw Garbrandt. But here's my dilemma with Garbrandt Cruz. Say Cruz wins the title back. Do you give Garbrandt an immediate rematch then? Because he's the former champ?
Yeah, that's very true.
I think what you gotta do is, I truly think, how great would this be? You have Garbrandt Dillashaw fighting. Say Dillashaw wins. Then you have Dillashaw Cruz 2. Say Dillashaw wins. Then you have Dillashaw Garbrandt. Or say Garbrandt beats Dillashaw. Then you have Garbrandt Cruz 2. I think the smarter move for the UFC would be to do Garbrandt Dillashaw because these are the last 2 guys who fought Dominic Cruz. The winner of them has to fight Cruz again, I think. So why not do that? Because you could have a big draw for the Garbrandt Dillashaw fight, and then the winner of that would have to fight Cruz. That'd be a huge draw too, because either way, it's Cruz's second fight against both guys.
Right.
I think that'd be huge.
See, it seems like whenever you try to break down who's next, I feel like you use the same 4 people and then just try and get as many combos out of them as you can. You literally take the
More or
top,
less.
You
Well,
literally
yeah.
take the top 4, discard everything below
Well,
that,
yeah, but everyone
and then
below-
you're like,
but-
all right,
but-
you do this and this, and then if he loses and he wins, then this and this.
But
and
yeah,
that and this.
I think that's what the UFC does though, because you're gonna have one
Not really,
fight.
because look at Cody Garbrandt was fucking number 5 and he fought the champ.
Yeah, a top 5. You're not gonna have number 10 face the champ.
No, you literally used the same 3 people. You did this the other podcast.
It is
with
what
light
it is.
heavyweights.
Whatever.
Yeah, you did it with light heavyweights. You literally had the same 3 people. You had John Jones,
Daniel
Cormier,
Cormier,
and Rumble Johnson.
But that's it.
And then
But-
you just had them fight like 8
But
times a night.
but that's it though. But that's it.
I know,
In the
but
light
still.
But what I'm saying though is, but in that's bantamweight, right?
125, yeah.
That's it though in the 125 class. That's literally it. You have Cruz, Garbrandt, and Dillashaw for the title. I mean, Lineker possibly yes, but he needs to kind of get a rebound to see what he can do.
What are you
But
talking about, dude? Lineker was ranked number 1, if my memory serves me correctly.
either way, Dillashaw dominated him. But what I'm saying, what I'm saying though is that
Yeah, look, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? He's won his last 6. He's 6 out of his last
okay,
7.
good for him. But what I'm saying though is that in the UFC, you look at I'm kind of thinking of it as the UFC does in a way, that you're going to take the top contenders to fight, and if the top contenders are the first 4 guys, that's who's going to fight for the title. I mean, if number 5 can beat number 10, then yeah, you're going to give number 5. Number 5 is going to get the next shot more than likely if he dominates. But if number 10 dominates number 5, then number 10 is going to move up to at least number 6, and the 6 is going to fight for number 1 contender next fight. That's what I'm saying is that you're going to take the elite guys to fight the next elite guys.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. And yes, I use the same, top 5 guys or top 4, whatever the fuck I use, but that's just how the UFC thinks of it too. They want to see who the best is, and they're gonna make it who can have the most money to bring in for him.
What?
Anyway.
Okay. All right. Well, final fight, which
Which-
very little need to break down.
No,
Nunez-Rousey.
very little, because Ronda got knocked the fuck out. That's not a TKO. That was a knockout.
was
It was a
so
fucking KO. It
It's
was
a key-
embarrassing for Ronda.
They put that for all KOs.
Yeah, it's 100% knockout. I mean, they say
Not
Ronda.
really, no, what the fuck
Ronda
was it?
landed 7 strikes.
If anything, that was a TKO, sir.
Ronda landed 7 strikes. I could land 7 strikes on Nunez. Okay, Ronda landed like 2.
In 43 seconds, I doubt it, but
Ronda landed like 2 strikes on Nunez, and if she landed 7 strikes, they're to her fucking abs. Like Ronda looked like shit, and I remember going. I will not forget this because I went to this one table, and it was a party of I think 9 or so, and the lady who was like hosting her little fight night because she always comes in apparently for the fight nights and stuff. Had a fucking Ronda shirt on and everything like that, was talking up Ronda and stuff. And I remember going to the table right before the fight started, and I said, so you think Ronda's gonna win? She's like, oh yeah, she's gonna fucking take her down, she's gonna judo throw her and gonna do an arm bar and everything. And I swear to God, it's exactly what she said. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, all right. She's like, who do you think is gonna win? I think Nunez is gonna win knockout first round. And she's just she laughs in my face. Straight up laughs in my face. And I was like, hey, all entitled to her own opinions, ma'am.
did you knock her out? Because, I mean,
I wanted to, but she's kind of a hefty girl. I probably could have.
she probably would have judo thrown you.
No, I'm pretty confident in my very semi amateur, pre-amateur, semi backroom brawl abilities to beat her. But
Well, I mean,
it was just funny because she had like the Ronda look. You know Ronda's look when she comes to the cage, like that determined, like I'm gonna knock you the fuck out, like I want to take you down and just take your arm and put him on mantle.
yeah.
She had that look on her face, and I'm just thinking, dude, you're stupid. You're so dumb. Do you not understand how badass Amanda Nunez is? I mean, yes, she's lost 4 fights, and I think she's what? I think 4. She's Ronda's 6-2 in the UFC, and Amanda Nunez is 7-1 in the UFC. And I'm just thinking to myself, do you not understand how much of a badass?
14-4. You just said she lost 4 fights, then you're like, I think she's 7-1.
No, she's lost 4 fights
in
overall.
The UFC?
In the UFC, she's lost 1 fight. She's 7-1.
Yeah, she lost to Kat Zingano.
Which blows my fucking mind, because Kat Zingano was garbage.
she's
Kat
7-1
Zingano
in
was
the UFC.
absolutely awful, which blows my mind. I hope she fights her again and just knocks that bitch out. I hate Kat Zingano.
Jesus.
She's up there with Michael Bisping. She is garbage. She is absolutely garbage.
She'd probably fuck you up.
She probably would. But either way, I thought it was funny, and it was funny as shit because I work at Buffalo Wild Wings for the 5 listeners. When Ronda comes out, everyone's cheering their heads off. They're like, "Yeah, Ronda!" It's predominantly females.
Yeah.
Predominantly rooting on Ronda.
Well, they were talking about this. I think it was on the Joe Rogan 207 breakdown. They were talking. Whoever was there, not Joe, it was someone else. They were talking about how it was all like young girls that were just in the crowd, like,
Yeah, okay, yeah. Cheering on Ronda, that's cool. I mean, I get it. I thought Jacek, the 125 women's
Jacek.
chick. Jacek, sorry.
God damn, son.
I'm bad with
Gotta
names.
work
Give me a
on your
break.
names.
Anyway, she put this great Twitter post. I was like, yes, Ronda lost, but what she did for women's MMA is amazing.
100%.
100%, and I give Ronda 100% credit for where women's MMA is at now. 100% credit. She deserves all the credit in the world for that.
She brought it into the mainstream
Mhm.
for sure.
100%.
Even if you didn't like her, you tuned in to watch her lose. Which at
Exactly.
the end of the day, of views of you, the UFC is like, meh.
We got money.
Dana White's sitting back thicker than a Snickers.
He's
just-
fucking rolling up a J with $100 bills if
Yeah.
they can. But when Ronda came out, everyone in the fucking room was going, yeah, Ronda. And then when Nunez came out, everyone's booing. There's a few cheers. I cheered for Nunez because I knew Nunez would win that fight. I
Yeah.
knew.
Yeah.
And what's funny as shit is that with all the employees and stuff like that, I was like, who you got in the Ronda Nunez fight? I said, Nunez, first round knockout.
Do any of them know like a moderate amount?
They
of UFC?
know about this much UFC.
Okay, so
If you can see how close my fingernails are,
so they know Conor McGregor, they know Ronda Rousey,
and that's about it.
and they know that there's like maybe more than 3 weight divisions.
Exactly. So they know about as much UFC as I do about cricket.
Okay.
So, and I said, yeah, Ronda's going to get first round knocked out. I'm calling it right now. And no one believed me. I said that from the moment I walked into work. Everyone asked me, it's like, Ronda's going to knock out first round. Nunez is going to win the fight. And I was like, oh, you're crazy. Like, Ronda's going to fucking,
Shut the fuck
Ronda's
up.
going to come back and dominate. And I'm like, I'm telling you, first
I
round,
hate-
Ronda's going to get knocked out first round.
I mean,
Nunez
I'm-
is going to destroy her. And the one girl that knew a smidge of the UFC is like, you really think that's like, yeah, Manny Nunez comes at you with that fucking flurry in the first one. She goes,
Hard.
she fucking puts it in 10th gear, unloads the gas chamber on you, the nitrous and everything, to knock you out in the first round. She's done that in her past, I'd say, 4 or 5 fights to try and finish you.
Mhm.
She does it in the first round. Ronda can't handle that. And when I went back to with this girl and a couple other people out at a table is that Holly Holm has laid the groundwork on how to beat Ronda Rousey. Striking, hands down. If you can keep her at bay with some simple jabs and simple right hands, this little 1-2 punch. If that's all you land on Ronda, she can't take a punch. She can take the first one, but not the second one.
Yeah.
She can. She can take the first one, but if you come out with that second punch, she's gonna be like, She's gonna be
That's
doing
exactly
headlights.
what happened.
She can't take a punch. Hands down, she can't take a punch. If you look at her past opponents, they were afraid of the whole takedown. They gave her distance, which gave Ronda time to move in to hit that judo flip to the armbar, which is what, like I said, every opponent gave her the chance to do. They kept the distance. Nunez and Holm realized, oh shit, if I get in close to her, land a couple blows,
Doesn't like it.
she doesn't like it. She can't handle it.
And the
that's
thing
it.
is too is I think the difference is that Holly Holm, while she's a world class striker, she doesn't have that same
World-class.
knockout. What?
World class.
That's what I just said.
No, it's not. I was
Oh, okay.
saying, yeah.
You're reiterating.
Yeah,
So, but the difference is that Holly Holm doesn't really have as much knockout power as Nunez. I mean, granted, Holly Holm fucking kicked her head off.
her up.
Literally
Pieced her up.
kicked her head into the next dimension. But
Which was awesome.
Amanda Nunes has that legitimate one punch knockout.
She
power.
does.
She's like
Which
she's
you don't-
like
you
she's like
don't-
a woman John Wick.
You almost never see that in a women's MMA fight. You almost never see that besides her and I would say Justino Cyborg. Those are the fight.
Justino Cyborg. It's Chris Cyborg. My God.
Chris Cyborg. I thought that Chris was her husband. But either way,
they're divorced first off, and his name is something else.
whatever. Anyway, Cyborg, the women's MMA fighter.
Crazy hands.
Oh, amazing hands. And I think it is a huge travesty that the UFC is not having her fight for the 145-pound belt.
She missed weight, and she got popped for.
No,
PEDs.
she missed 140 weight, not 145. She's a 145-pound
Right,
fighter.
but then.
The UFC is having a
Goddamn.
huge travesty with not having her being the 145-pound
Right,
champ.
but she.
Huge travesty. I think
right.
the UFC is fucking up immensely.
But here's the thing.
I don't care if she's popped. It wasn't with the UFC. I don't care if she's missed weight. It wasn't with the UFC. She has fought at catch weight every single fight with the UFC, and she has won every single fight with the UFC. Man, it's only 2 fights, but she has won every fight with the UFC and has made weight with the UFC. UFC only thing the UFC is holding against her is like, oh, you've missed weight here, you've popped here.
She
But
recently got popped for.
but
the
it
PEDs,
wasn't
I
with
thought.
the UFC though. It was not with the UFC. I would stake everything on that. She has not missed weight or popped with the UFC. She has made every fight for weight that they've had her with. And I truly believe that if the UFC does not give her the next title fight of the winner of Holly Holm versus whoever the fuck for Cyborg, then they're gonna lose perhaps, in my personal opinion, the best women's MMA fighter in the world right now.
100%.
They will lose. Like, look at that. She would fucking rip your dick off, put it on her fucking cooter, and fuck you with it.
100%.
She's a fucking animal. I think there's no reason why the UFC should not give her the 145-pound title fight. No reason why she shouldn't. Like, I don't.
Well, it's just the whole thing. They made the 145 division for her.
Yeah, they made it, so why not give her the first title fight? Her versus Holly Holm.
Right.
Let's see
But
that.
then
I think.
she turns down all these fights because she's saying, "Oh, I can't make the weight. I can't make the weight."
Yeah, at 140.
Meanwhile, though, she gets popped because she's taking a.
But
I
it's
think
not
a
with the
diuretic.
UFC though.
It doesn't matter though.
It does matter.
It's one giant shitstorm. I don't really know a whole lot
I
about
mean,
it.
yeah, obviously we don't know a lot about it, but if you've made weight with the same company X amount of times, if you've made the 140-pound weight every single time, you know, you're weighing at 140.5 or 140.6, whatever the fuck it is. If you're making those weights and you're fucking finishing these girls and dominating them, and your true weight class is 145, why wouldn't you get the 145-pound fight? Why wouldn't you get that fucking fight for the 145-pound belt? The UFC is fucking up majorly, and because I think she has two more. I think she signed a 4-fight deal with the UFC, and she said that she'll fight one more time, but if her next 2 fights aren't for the belt, then she'll leave the UFC, which she totally should, because the UFC is just dicking her around
Where's
right
she
now.
gonna go?
She'll go to either Ryzen or Bellator, or Bellator. Sorry,
Bellator.
Bellator. Sorry,
Does Bellator even have a... I mean, shit, sorry guys.
They do-
Does
they-
Bellator even have a women's division?
they do.
How
It's
competitive
not-
is
it's-
it, though?
Exactly, but she would go there and she would get an immediate
my
title
goodness.
fight at either fucking
And
company.
she would hold it for 45 years.
Exactly,
She
she
would
would
be
hold it forever.
76, knocking out
But
18-year-olds.
the UFC can't afford to lose her though, because as much
She's not a
as
draw.
if they give
She's
her
not a big draw.
okay, but Amanda Nunes isn't a big draw either until she knocked out Ronda. The only reason the Amanda Nunes Ronda Rousey fight was a big draw is because of Ronda.
Because of Ronda.
Exactly. The only
Dude,
reason, was it Jujetsky? Jujacek.
Jacek.
Jacek. The only reason she's a big draw is because she's finishing fighter. She's an amazing women's fighter.
Also super hot.
She's very hot. Very hot. And I would cheat on my wife for her. But because she's a phenomenal fighter and she's a big draw. I'm telling you, because of this fight, Amanda Nunes is gonna.
I really don't think she's that big of a draw.
Nunez.
Average fan. No, not
Because-
Nunes. Well,
because
yes,
of
okay,
this-
Nunes now, because she knocked out Ronda.
Will be a bigger draw, hands down.
Right,
and
but
now
I don't think Jacek's a
and-
big draw.
I think she's second in women's. The only reason that Cyborg isn't a big draw is because the UFC isn't promoting her.
Yeah, the UFC does
Which
a really
is
bad
fucking
job of promoting
stupid.
their good. For example,
fucking
before
stupid.
this Rousey Nunes fight, you didn't see anything about Nunes.
Because Ronda refused to do fucking interviews. That's on Ronda. The reason this card wasn't as big as it should have been is because Ronda refused to do interviews.
No,
And
I don't think so.
no, I truly believe it because the UFC said, "Oh, if you don't want to do interviews, that's fine."
You're right, which is
fucking
some bullshit.
stupid. They
but
should have forced
it's
you. You're under
because-
contract.
It's
do your
because
fucking interviews.
it's because it's her coach. They left it out of her contract.
Well, apparently, from what I heard, is that her coach and the new owners of the UFC are actually really tight.
Right, exactly.
They're like BFFs.
Yeah, that's the problem.
So he's like, yeah, you don't. She doesn't
And
want
her
to do
coach is
interviews.
also god awful.
Yeah, her coach is
needs to-
fucking atrocious.
I
She
think
needs-
I think Ronda Rousey is a good fighter. I think her coach
is
fucked
awful.
up.
Her coach is awful. She has the one. I would say hands down the worst coach in the UFC.
She tried to bang with Nunes.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Why?
What
Why?
the fuck?
Why? See, and that's what I'm saying is like she tried to do that with Holly Holm. She tried to show that in the Holly Holm fight that she can stand and bang. She can't.
That's not your role.
That's not what you do.
She took
I
she
thought-
took the judo throw and the armbar, and it went from her like main attack to just like a not even a backup plan, like
She's
a,
using a
like
whiff.
a, like a,
she's
like
using
a
a
tool.
whiff. She's using a wiffle ball bat in the pros.
Yeah.
That's what she's
Pretty
doing.
much.
It's fucking
Like
stupid.
she's not a striker, and that's exactly what her coach
Said that
had
she.
her believe.
Yeah, which is fucking stupid. If she went to a real gym, if she went to Wingle John and over there and Greg Jackson,
Mm-hmm.
there's no reason why she still shouldn't be the champ because they would play to her abilities. They
For
would
sure.
coach her up in
That's
the right
what
way.
that's what John Jones said. He said, "Hey, look, get yourself a new coach. Come to Albuquerque.
Yes.
I will train with you. I will.
Yes.
Like, we will make you into the best fighter you can be." Or
Oh,
something
if
along those
Ronda
lines.
went there, there's no reason why in, I would say, a year, 2 years maybe, she couldn't come back and face Nunez and it'd be a completely different fight. If she had went to the right coach, there's no reason why Ronda
And the
still
thing
should be the
is,
champ.
how old is she? I think she's like what, 27 maybe.
Ronda, she's late 20s, that's all I know. I think she's 28, 29.
29.
Okay. Yeah, there's no reason why.
Getting a little old.
A little old.
Little old.
But-
just because those lighter weights,
but-
speed starts
but-
to go.
But with Joe Rogan and John Jones said, most real fighters, like hardcore fighters, they don't hit their prime until at least 30, 32. That's when they hit their prime for fighting.
Well, that's when heavyweights hit their prime.
Heavyweights, but even with these little people, 'cause
And that's when
but
these-
the lighter weights, even with the women, they don't take a lot. They don't take hard punches like the men do.
Very true.
They really don't.
They have
Like,
longer careers.
because that was what 135, right?
With the exception of anybody that faces Nunez or Cyborg.
Very true. On a consistent basis,
Yeah.
honestly. But yeah, I think if Ronda got I completely agree. Ronda needs to get a new coach. She went to Greg Jackson or Miko John. There's no reason why I would think within at least, I would say 2 years, at least 2 years, she couldn't compete for the title and possibly win it back from Nunez. Possibly. Not saying she would, but possibly she could
Or
win
whoever
it back.
has it.
Whoever has it.
Someone
But
come
I
along and figure
I
out
don't-
Nunez.
Oh yeah,
Shit,
someone
I
can
don't
figure
know.
out Nunez. But I mean, if you can survive the first round against Nunez, you have a chance, hands down. If you,
Can't say. I don't really know how good or bad her cardio is. I mean, granted,
True.
she's
I mean, she could have some.
smacked everybody in like the first round.
Exactly. That's what I'm gonna say next is that just
Well, she
because
did to Misha Tate. Poor Misha Tate.
poor cupcake,
Poor Cupcake.
poor cupcake. However, I do love that she's being now a color commentator for the UFC. I really like that. I hope
She's a really good commentator.
she's a fantastic commentator. She knows she's a fantastic one. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Which I wouldn't be too upset if she took Goldberg's place. I wouldn't be that upset. But if what
No. I just saw this thing on Bleacher Report.
is it true that Jim Rome's taking over?
it wasn't Jim Rome? It was.
Oh, I would have loved if Jim Rome did it. I love Jim Rome. Because he's a no-nonsense motherfucker. He tells her how the fuck it is.
Yeah, the thing is though is that Brendan Shaw was talking about this. So for those of you that haven't heard it, I'm just gonna regurgitate it. He was saying how Jim Rome.
Apologies.
Okay, so Mike Goldberg and Joe Rogan worked really well because Joe
Very
Rogan was
well.
in the driver's seat.
Yes.
Mike Goldberg knew his role, sat second, and he played like a supporting role to
He
Joe
played
Rogan.
They were
And they were
perfect together.
fantastic. They were like a 1-2 punch.
It was perfect.
It's like Joe Rogan was Conor McGregor's left, and Mike Goldberg was his right. You know what I mean?
That's perfect.
They would like set each other up.
Give me a
Counter
belt.
punch. So that's how it worked. But they say that Jim Rome, Brendan Shaw was saying how Jim Rome, the way that he commentates is, he's the guy that's trying to be that driver's seat, the Conor left, the main guy. He's like, you can't really have two guys that are trying to. You can't have two alpha males.
I understand that.
You know what I mean?
But at the same time, Jim Rome doesn't know the UFC like Joe Rogan does, though. I think that if you bring in Jim Rome for that, color commentator type guy, like, oh, look at that great takedown type stuff, and then you have Joe Rogan coming in, and he's like, oh, because he, blah blah did this and it was perfect, and oh, now look at what he's doing there. I mean, I totally understand what Brendan Shaw was saying in that I completely understand it and think he's right, but I don't think Jim Rome knows the UFC like Joe Rogan does. I don't think a lot of people know the UFC like Joe Rogan does.
Yeah, 100%. So the only way that it would work is if they took Jim Rome and they were like, hey bro, you got to realize
You're number 2.
Joe Rogan, yeah, you're number 2.
Maybe
Maybe when Joe Rogan leaves, you can become the number 1. But until then,
maybe.
well, no. Actually, if Joe Rogan dipped, then Jim Rome would make for a good.
I think Kenny
set-
Florian would
setup
be a
guy.
better one.
Think so?
I think because it's inevitable whenever Joe Rogan leaves the UFC. Cause it's inevitable. He will leave eventually. I think Kenny.
It's so sad to think about.
It is. It really is. Because I mean,
He's
ever since anyone's known the UFC, it's been Mike Goldberg and Joe
Joe
Rogan.
Rogan.
And now Goldberg is gone. I think Jim Rome taking over would be awesome for the sport because you have a very well known and very well respected sports reporter I think it's a great move by the UFC if they go that way. But when Joe Rogan does leave, because he will leave the UFC eventually. He will. He could do this forever. He could do it until the day he dies. He could. He totally could, but he won't, because he has other things he wants to do, I'm sure. But
podcasts.
I think Kenny Florian would be excellent for them, because Kenny Florian has done a couple fights on fight cards and stuff like that, and he's done a couple overseas commentating and stuff like that. And he's a former fighter, so he knows the in and outs of the sport. I think a little bit better than Joe Rogan. He knows a fighter's mindset a little bit more. Granted, Joe Rogan, beautiful play calling left and right, hands down. But Kenny Florian is a former fighter. He knows how to get into that fighter's mind a little bit more.
Well, Joe Rogan used to compete too. Not in the UFC. He did kickboxing.
Well, he did kickboxing, which is same as the UFC in a sense, but. And I think he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu under whoever the fuck.
He's a black belt under, I think he's a black belt under Eddie Bravo, and then he's a black belt under, I don't know the fuck you say his name, but he's a black belt under the same dude who gave Eddie Bravo his black belt.
Oh, that's impressive as shit then.
Jean-Jacques Machado. That's who it is.
Oh, fuck yeah. Machado. I know, I've heard the name.
Yeah.
Anyone who's listening, of the 5 listeners who know who Eddie Bravo is, he's a world-class fucking jiu-jitsu guy, and Machado is hands down, I'd say, top 5 jiu-jitsu guy in the world. That's impressive as shit, actually. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he has a gi and no gi black belt, so he knows his shit.
He knows his shit.
And then he was a former world champ when he was younger at kickboxing.
That I didn't know.
Yeah. And have you seen him throw those spinning leg kicks when he's teaching GSP?
Oh my god!
No, he was talking about it on his podcast.
I was watching that on YouTube, and just watching that, it broke 2 of my ribs.
No, he was saying too dead serious. He's like, yeah, he's like, even if you put on one of those pads, like those big old thick pads that coaches put on to practice leg kicks, he's like, even if you have one of those on, I will break a rib. Like,
I believe it.
He's like, I just have that power. It's crazy. It is so crazy.
Strong. I kind of wish that Joe Rogan got into the UFC.
That'd be so dope. Just watch him throw spinning leg kicks. Fight over. That'd be so dope. His spinning leg kicks would be like the Connor left of.
He's also old as shit though.
Joe Rogan?
Joe Rogan's also old as fuck. He's late 40s.
48, 49.
He's late 40s. Yeah, he's old. But
he would fight at like 205. Well,
he might fight at 185.
That's a hard weight cut for him though, because he's already shredded as fuck and he's 200 pounds.
You might just do catch weights then, because I don't think you want to go up in weight and face those bigger guys like the Rumble Johnson and Cormier of the division, but
he's also 5'8". Can you imagine Joe Rogan at 205 pounds at 5'8",
going against fucking
6'7" Rumble Johnson,
or fucking 6'8" fucking Gustafsson? Yeah. That'd be funny.
Just
185.
Dude, but think about it though. If they're super tall, he just throws one of those spinning kicks to their thigh.
Oh,
breaks their femur.
The leg would be fucking.
Oh my goodness!
It'd be indented.
Can you imagine if somebody broke their femur in a UFC fight?
Oh.
They say that's the worst bone. That and your hip. Those are like
no,
the
your femur is your worst bone to break because it's your biggest bone. And it's the hardest to repair.
But think about your hip.
Yeah, but your hip isn't so bad because you can immobilize the entire leg. Your femur is your biggest bone in your body.
That bitch is thick.
The thickest.
If you break that shit.
Yeah.
Let's not talking about breaking bone.
Yeah.
Okay, so I wanted to bring this up. Now that we're done breaking down 207, which took us an hour and 15 minutes.
Which is about right because there's some sick fights.
Look at this. This is from. First off, I think 208's a trash card. I would not pay.
I'm not.
I'm not paying $60 to watch Holly Holm. And, I don't know how you say this girl's name.
Jermaine, fucking 8-inch waist, fucking Randadimi.
Yeah, I'm not paying $60 for that.
No.
I like Travis Brown, Derek Lewis.
That's gonna be a dope fight.
I like who the fuck do they have Glover Teixeira, who granted just got killed by
Johnson.
By Johnson fighting some unranked dude. So I don't know. The Killa Gorilla. That's a dope name.
That's a dope name.
It looks like
he does not look like a gorilla.
Okay, he's calling himself that, and he's a very large, scary black man, but he's calling himself a gorilla.
He's also 9-1, while Glover Teixeira is 25-5.
Yeah.
Who probably wins this fight?
It might be an interesting. He fucking A. He reminds me of Rumble Johnson.
How old is this guy?
Thick as fuck, black dude, with a
He looks like he's
name.
like 37.
He's 32. Really?
Close
He looks
enough.
younger than that. I would have guessed.
He
at
looks
28.
old as shit.
That might be a good fight. I mean,
Wait, how many of his wins are by knockout? Oh, that was a
all
whole.
mine fights by knockout.
Jesus Christ.
Are you
This
kidding?
might be an interesting fight.
Hold on,
This might be an interesting fight.
I don't want to get into a 208 breakdown.
Yeah, I mean either.
Let's see. One loss to Sean Jordan, whoever the fuck that is. Decision, KO, decision, TKO, submission, TKO, submission, submission, TKO. Shit. Finished 8 out of his 9 wins. Damn, son.
He definitely needs the water.
Well, no, here, real quick though. I just want you to look at this. So for those of you that are listening, Dustin Poirier, Jim Miller, I'm not mad about that.
No,
still
that's
not
not
still
gonna
not
fight.
paying $60 for this card.
No, I'm gonna have someone take my fucking shift that night.
Okay, this Wilson Rice, Yulka Sasaki. You're fucking high if you're telling me both. You're high if you're telling me he's $125, and you're high if you're telling me he's $125. That dude looks like $150, and he looks about 95 pounds. What?
You have the number
fuck?
5 guy in the division facing an unranked fighter.
From Japan.
It's basically just trying to pump this guy up. I feel
What
like.
the fuck, though? Look at the difference in body.
I see that.
What the fuck?
I feel like we could beat this guy together.
Probably.
Like you go high, I go low.
I mean, we have a collective like 140 pounds on him probably.
Yeah, at least. Shit.
I would have about 60.
I mean, who knows? I mean, old boy from Japan could catch a nice little fucking Dan Henderson left hook, and you never know. But there's You have the number 5 facing an unranked guy. That's just fucking stupid. Unless this kid has been,
Unless
showing
he's
something,
legit.
which has. Which
19 and 3. No?
Just go back down though. But look, his last 5 fights, he has 1 win.
There's only 5 fights in the UFC.
Oh, 5 fights and 1. Or so his last 4 fights, he's won. He's 2-2 in his last 5 fights in the UFC.
Against. Sorry, nobody's.
Yeah, nobody's, and so he's now gonna face the number 5 guy. The only reason they're doing that is to pump up the number 5 guy.
Yeah.
What weight class is this at?
125.
Oh, that's why they're trying to pump him up.
Yeah.
Have him talk some shit, saying like, "Oh, give me the title fight," talk some shit up. Who's he beat?
Hector Sandoval.
Okay.
Oh, I watched that fight. Yes, I remember watching that fight. This kid's legit. Dustin Ortiz.
Beating Dustin Ortiz is like beating up Screech from. Yeah, Dustin Ortiz looks like Screech.
Holy shit, he does.
He looks like Screech from Saved by the Bell. He's just a lot beefier.
Justin Formiga.
What the fuck
Scott
that is.
Jorgensen. Joby Sanchez.
Being Scott Jorgensen is no slouch though. Scott Jorgensen at one point, I think that's probably towards the end of the UFC career. He was a no slouch guy. Yeah, Scott Jorgensen used to be that guy where he was kind of like the Ryan Bader of the UFC.
Okay.
If you could beat him,
Of
it's
the
like all right.
125 division?
Yeah, if you could beat Scott Jorgensen, you're ready for a top 5 fight, hands
Okay.
down. But then, yeah,
Jesus.
like I said, at one point.
Yeah, at one point for sure. Lost Dominic Cruz for the belt.
Yep, I think that was at WEC, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was in WEC. Yeah, he's never one of those guys where you can count him out of a fight though.
Right.
He was always a really tough guy, but he had that skin condition that Michael Jackson had.
What skin condition?
Where like you had like those patches of white skin all over your body.
Oh.
He had that condition. Because I'm pretty sure he's Mexican, but he looks white as shit.
Yeah, he looks white as.
If you
looks
throw
kind of Asian. Like.
if you pull up him on images real quick, you'll see it.
Wait a minute.
You'll know when you see him. You can't. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. You see the images here. Is that you see the patches of white just overtaking his body?
And then it
Just overtook it.
just looks good though. Not gonna lie, like
No, yeah.
looks good.
Yeah, he's a solid fighter. I mean, he's one of those guys the UFC would keep around more than likely to a certain extent. Like he's one of those guys that Bellator would pick up eventually.
Right.
Put it that way. He's one of those guys that will compete in the UFC but never go for a title. But in Bellator, he would compete for a title.
Dominic Cruz's face.
Mm-hmm. Apparently, the UFC gym that just opened up down here in Tucson, the Cruz brothers own.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
My manager at work was telling me how one of the gyms here is like endorsed, I guess you could say, by the Gracies.
I wouldn't be surprised. I'm sure there's probably a Gracie's Jiu-Jitsu gym. Fucking.
I know there's a
state.
10th planet here way down.
Yeah, there's a 10th planet somewhere around
Bumfuck
here.
nowhere.
I've always wanted to go there, honestly.
Me too.
I'd rather go there and just learn straight jiu-jitsu from.
Well,
no
they
offense
do
to
MMA there.
no offense to the Undisputed gym there off Stone and Speedway.
But it's 10th planet.
It's 10th fucking planet. I'd rather learn from. No offense to David Riley, but I'd rather learn from someone who learned from some of the best. Hands down. But anyway, so you have this up here. So
Why don't you sit down?
I was gonna get some water.
Give me anxiety. Want me to pause this really quick?
Yeah, give it a quick pause.
Alright, take 5.
Alright, so I'm back, y'all. I had to get some water real quick. Peter says he sleeps with socks on.
No, I don't
No,
religiously sleep with socks.
it doesn't matter. He
Not all
slept
the
with,
time.
Like, what person goes to sleep with socks on and then wakes up with socks?
Like
Do you
5
not-
times a year I'll sleep with socks
But it
on.
doesn't matter. Do you not subconsciously take your socks off in the middle of the night when you sleep with them on, regardless if they come to your fucking knees or to your ankles like
No.
mine? Like, how do you not have your socks
No, do you know?
come off?
Do you know why I slept with socks on? Because here was my plan.
Right, what you
Okay.
fucking thinking?
My plan was to wake up at 8 o'clock.
Okay.
I was gonna go get a workout in
Okay.
right before podcast, right? And
Uh-huh.
then after I'm done with my hour and a half workout, because we had a podcast at 10.
Yeah.
Wake up at 8. It gives me half an hour, 45 minutes from the time that I'm done to shower, change clothes,
Get some
eat
coffee.
breakfast, make
Yeah,
coffee,
okay.
chill out. But I didn't go. For whatever reason, I fucking tossed and turned for 7.5 hours, and then finally went to sleep, and that's why I didn't even wake up till like 9:50.
You woke up like at 10:15 actually.
Well, okay, I got
Dylan
out, no,
woke
I
up
got
at
no,
10.
I got out of bed. What the fuck? I got out of bed at like 9:55.
Either way, regardless though.
But that's why I slept with
Anyway,
socks on, so that way I could just roll out of bed.
I
would
sleep
I
with
would,
socks
literally,
on,
here's
but
what
then I
would
wake
do.
up in the middle of the night and they're off. My feet are freezing as fuck.
You know what? First off, cold feet kind of suck.
Cold
So-
feet suck because you can warm up every other part of the body. Once your feet are cold, you can
Sucks.
put on 10 pairs of socks
And those
and
bitches are
8
still
moccasins,
cold.
and
It
it's still
sucks.
fucking
What
cold.
the fuck?
It's awful.
Why? I don't get it.
Circulation? I don't fucking
I
know.
don't
It's
have no
awful.
clue.
I had these great pair of socks because when I was in the Navy, we went up to Alaska for my ship's commissioning ceremony, and we were given a thermal undershirt, which I still have. We got long johns, which are thermal, and thermal socks.
Mhm.
And those thermal socks, your feet were cold, put those bitches on for like 5 minutes,
Dude.
warm as shit. They were the best fucking socks.
Yeah,
you'll
that's
see
why.
of
Well, yeah.
all time.
Everybody that
And
hunts, that hunts always says, pack thermal socks.
Oh yeah,
You
those
pack
socks
some,
were
you pack some
amazing.
basic bitch ass ankle socks, and you were fucked.
Oh yeah, and yet I do laundry one time on the ship or whatever the fuck it
Oh,
was,
yeah,
and
lost.
I lose one sock, and it's like, oh well, this is
Aw.
fucking useless, so you throw the one away.
Yeah, usually the ones that come.
And then the long johns disappear, but I still have the thermal, and the thermal is fucking amazing.
Damn.
Oh, like that, I would wear that over any other thermal I would buy from the store. One, because I got it for free, and two, it keeps you warmer than anything else.
That's from the military, so it's probably pretty legit.
Oh, it's a legit
Military
thermal.
grade. No, but here's my plan, right? I would literally
I
wake
heard
up,
your
I'd
plan.
wake up, I'd roll out of bed, and just run over to the garage, and that was
See, that's what
it.
I was gonna do this morning. Is that because my alarm is set for 6:30 every morning. As shitty as that sounds, and I go to bed about midnight. So I got about,
so
yeah,
that's
I know.
tough.
It's tough, but I'm a fucking trooper. I'm a man, so I get the fuck up and I do what I gotta do.
There's,
okay?
you know what? It's weird.
However, though, this is the one morning, and I would say in the past how long has school been out? So since December 14th was my last day of school. So since then, this is the first morning where I woke up, when my alarm went off at 6:30.
You're like, fuck
Saw my alarm went off. I said, "Fuck this!" Turned it off and went back to sleep and woke up at 8:15.
Isn't it nice though?
It is nice,
So
cause,
nice.
'cause I don't need a lot of sleep. I really don't, cause I take naps.
Right.
Okay, I take a nap, and I don't take like an hour, 2 hour nap. I take like 20-minute, 30-minute power naps at most.
Uh-huh.
I take power naps because you don't need a lot of sleep. You don't need to take a legit nap, because anyone who sleeps more than an hour, it fucks up your sleep routine.
It does.
It really
You
fucks
wake
you
up and you're like,
You feel like
"Ugh."
shit.
You
But
feel like shit, then you can't fall asleep.
but
all
if
the
you
time.
take a 20 to 30-minute power nap, just a quick little nap, just to rest your
Little
body.
snoozer.
Boom, you wake up and you feel great.
good.
You feel amazing. And
That's
that's
a
what I
fact.
do. I just take 20-minute power naps, usually between 2 and 3 o'clock, in that range. Usually I take a
That's
little
what most
power.
people do.
I wake up,
Even on
I
keto,
do what I
though, you
gotta
still
do.
get that like midday crash. I don't really get it much.
We'll get to keto in a second. because I've been off keto for a minute because of the holidays.
Right.
And I'll get into that.
Speaking of the holidays, though, I think my sleep has been fucked up because my buddy Sean, right, he's in the Navy.
Yeah.
He comes back. So obviously, like anyone, all we
Mhm.
did for 2 weeks was pretty much get drunk at people's houses and
Yeah.
just fucking hang out and eat shitty food and
Yeah,
cookies.
that's how it goes.
And I think it really fucked him. That's why it was so hard to wake up this morning.
Excuse me.
That's why, like, the other day I had the same thing planned too, where it was on Monday. I was like, all right, I'm going to wake up, I'm going to do a workout. So I went to bed early. I woke up, I still got 8 hours of sleep, and I woke up and I'm like, holy fuck, I could not
Yeah.
get up to save my life. And there's other days where I'll have 6 hours, and I'll be like,
Fuck it, let's do
good
it.
to go.
Well,
It's
because
weird, man. I think I'm just fucked up for my 2
Because
weeks
when I
of
was
shit.
hardcore on keto, I could get like 4 or 5 hours of sleep and wake up and be fine for the
Fine.
whole day.
Yeah.
But because of the holidays and everything, and
Being off your diet.
being 100% off the diet,
Yeah.
which has been
Eating fucking cookies and pasta and
cookies,
pizza and
pasta, fucking
drinking sodas
Biscuit and fucking
heavy
candy and
beers
shit.
and-
Yeah, it's been killing me.
Yeah.
And because obviously you're in a different situation than I am. I mean, you have a mom who buys the food, and she
Yeah.
goes out and she buys what she can. Brittany and I are a little bit different situation where we're on a very strict budget, so we have to finish the food that we have.
Right.
So I have to be off keto right now for at least until at least Tuesday, which sucks for me. I try and stay to keto as much as I can,
Mhm.
as much as I can. The biggest bugger to me is that I'm out of tuna. I have no keto friendly snacks. Those are the
Rough.
2 biggest fucks. And when I have tuna, I'm good to go because I can have like 2 cans of tuna in the morning, have a can before I go to work, and I'm golden.
Shouldn't be that much
I'm-
tuna, but
Oh, I love some tuna.
I do love me some tuna.
There's 0 carbs in it, and
Yeah, I know,
I
but
use
it's like a tune-up snack for me. It's like
no,
once
it's
in a while.
it's good because once your body gets used to it, you're straight. That's why.
once your body gets straight to McDonald's, you're good to go too. You can
Well,
feel
yeah,
fine
but
off
tuna's
that.
different though because it's high in protein too. Like there was some day, like there'd be some mornings where like fuck, I'm starving because I gotta have a hardcore workout one day. You know, wake up the next morning, it's like fuck, I'm starving, and I would have 3 cans. And I wouldn't give a fuck. But here's the thing: is I would use mayonnaise, but I would use the olive oil mayonnaise, and I would use it in teaspoons because 2 teaspoons have 0 carbs. If you go above that, then I think it adds a carb.
Right.
So I make sure I measure it
So
out
you
and
probably
stuff.
have like half a carb.
Yeah, so I'd be fine to go. Like I'd have 2 cans in the morning, have my fucking regular cups of coffee, whatever, and fucking I wouldn't eat again until I go to work. I'd have a can of tuna and be straight good to go.
What were we talking about earlier when I was making breakfast that we wanted to talk about on the podcast?
I can't remember. Oh,
Oh.
something about football. I think. Oh, it was about college football. I
Was it?
think.
Yes, it was about Bama. It was about Bama, Clemson,
Yep, Bear McCompton and about the Minnesota thing, which I want to touch on about Minnesota, which pisses me the fuck off.
the Minnesota thing.
You hear about Minnesota? So here's the thing. For the 5 listeners who know anything, or the 1 listener of the 5 that know anything about college football and what happened recently. So apparently Minnesota, the football team, back in September, October, or something like that, early in the season, mid-season, they held a recruit on campus, and he went to a party with one of the players, and they had this one girl who agreed to sleep with him, so they slept with her, and then apparently after that there was like 10 football players who went and banged her as well. She was drunk as shit, and she consented to what she said was at least 3 guys. After that, she said no more, but they continued to do it. So the 10 players all got charged with it.
Oh, it's
But it's a really hazy gray area. And here's the fucked up part, which pisses me off a little bit, is that the coach supported the entire team boycotting their bowl game because they wanted due process to be done first. They wanted the players to go to, have the school do the inquiry, go to trial and all that stuff. They were supporting their teammates. And the coach supported that. He's like, yeah, I support the decision to do that. And that's basically what he said. That's it. He supported their decision to boycott the bowl game because he thought that that's their right to boycott that because they felt that they were being treated unfairly. And he supported the players in their decision. He didn't support what the 10 players did. He says, I am against what those guys are not accused of doing yet. If they get accused of it, then I am 100% against that, and that's not right, and they will be kicked off this team. And then the Minnesota AD fires the head coach, who I think was like the last 2 years. I think they went 9 and what the fuck ever with 2 bowl wins, something like that. Like he was turning this program around. Minnesota, who was not
they were ranked 23.
yeah, they've been they were a ranked
2 years
team
ago.
and they were becoming a powerhouse.
Yeah,
in
they
the
were
big,
good. They were
in
kinda
what,
good
the Big
again.
Ten, right?
Yeah, not a powerhouse. But
Well, they were
coming
okay,
back.
not power, but they
coming
were
back.
on the up and up. Like this head coach was turning this team around, making them a contender at
Right.
least in the Big Ten, not to win it, but at least making it more interesting when the
Yeah.
big boys came in, and they just fire him. It's like what? Because he supported his players
Fuck,
who
that's stupid.
he wasn't supporting the 10 guys who were did what they were accused of. He's supporting the team who was backing the players. He's like,
Right.
yeah, it's their right to do that, and they fired him. It's like. Now who the fuck wants to come here? Like no
See,
one.
the thing that sucks too is it's all about money, because they're
But
like,
it's not about money though. It's
well,
about
no, but that's the reason.
no,
why
no. The reason they fired him is because they don't want that image though. Because the coach supporting the players who support these guys who are accused of doing this, they don't want that a part of the program. Which
it's
makes
all about money, because they fired him because like, listen, bitch, you better play this bowl game because we want some fucking moolah.
well, the players all agreed to play and they all played. And I think they lost actually. I don't know if they played, but excuse me. But I think it's fucking stupid that they fired the head coach.
Yeah.
I think it's fucking ridiculous because he supported his
He's
players.
just standing behind his team.
He's standing behind his
doing
team.
I think he's doing what any coach should do.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry that I'm supporting my players who support these guys,
Yeah, what the fuck?
by guilty by association type bullshit.
Yeah.
I think it's fucking stupid. There was no reason that they should have fired him. I think that they should have let the whole thing played out, and if they had to suspend or let these 10 players go to jail, it is what it is. And what's funny, and I'm not racially discriminating against anybody, but all 10 players were black. I mean, you can touch on
Is
that.
that even
I
a
mean,
point? I mean, but at the
it's
same
not
time,
a point, but I'm just saying,
But
like,
at the same time, though, I mean, it's college football.
it is college football, and it's Minnesota. It's like,
90% of
oh,
every
all you,
roster's black.
yeah, exactly, at least 90%. But
Except for like, what's a white school? Stanford.
Stanford, yeah, Stanford's pretty fucking white. UCLA,
Fuck.
I'd say UCLA.
It's loaded up with black guys.
West Coast, U of A, to an extent.
UVA's Mexican dudes.
To an extent.
A lot of
I
Mexicans.
mean, the Giants are gonna draft New Solomon number 1 overall.
I hope so.
Yeah, let's do it.
Hasn't played a fucking snap his senior year.
But
Best quarterback in the draft.
speaking of
Wait, really quick though. Alabama, Clemson. Let's get college football out of the way.
I think Clemson wins. Now, here's my reasoning: is that
I fucking hate
I-
Alabama too, but
I
god
do.
damn it, it's Alabama.
it is fucking Alabama. It is. But here's my thing: is that Alabama's offense is not that good. The offense really is not that good. The only reason the offense is that good is because the defense is literally that good.
Right.
And Clemson's defense is
Legit.
legit. They have a legit
They have a
defense.
legit defense.
And I think Clemson, their defense pulls it in. I don't think it's going to be a high scoring game like it was last year. I really don't. I think Jalen Hurts.
Which I love. I like seeing like pitcher duels.
Yeah. Oh,
Like,
like going into the ninth inning,
Like a
0-0,
like a
no hitter.
21-14 kind of game.
Yeah.
I like seeing shit like that.
I think that's what's
A seven, it's like a set, like that Giants Cowboys game, 10-7, because it makes every point worth so much
Oh,
more.
so much
When
more.
it's
I
a
agree.
fucking shootout, when it's like 43-52,
like the
you
Rose
know?
Bowl with USC and
Yeah,
Penn State.
it's every touchdown is like, I mean, of course it's cool
It
to be like, oh
matters.
shit, like fuck yeah, touchdown, but,
but
it's not
like, oh great, the defenses are complete shit.
right.
Actually,
Like think about it. Think about if the Cowboys Giants, right, 10-7. Let's say the Cowboys scored again, it's 10-14. You're like, fuck, right?
This is a
But
big
let's say
game,
it's
yeah.
let's say it's 35-39, right? You're
Mhm.
like, no,
oh, I'm not too
whatever.
worried. Oh, so it's now what?
it's another touchdown.
It's now 46-35. Oh, I think we can come back. All we do is get one stop because we can score on these guys. We've proven it.
Exactly.
So, but I think Deshaun Watson is the better quarterback, hands down.
1,000,000%.
I think
You know what
they're-
the worst part is though is Jalen Hurts is a true freshman.
he's a true freshman, and
Give it-
that's where I think
so
think that'll
imagine his
I think
fucking
having
junior year,
he's gonna be the starting quarterback for at least 4 years. He's not gonna go
4 years.
He'll go 4 years.
He's gonna. Dip.
When has I guarantee there's never been an Alabama quarterback to go in the first round. I don't think ever.
How many of them have started since the time that they were true freshmen?
That's true, but Jalen Hurts isn't NFL quarterback type.
Very true.
I mean, everyone you can see Johnny Manziel's like, oh, he can do this, he can do that. Johnny Manziel's like, no, Johnny Manziel's a shitty fucking NFL quarterback. Okay, I mean, you have these guys who are the run first types, which Jalen Hurts isn't. He's more of a pass first. I would agree.
But he has the legs.
He does have the legs, but Johnny Manziel also has the legs. But he can't make the NFL
I think Jalen
throws.
Hurts is more Yeah, I think he's more NFL ready than Johnny Manziel, which
He's
is
more NFL
hard to do. I'm more NFL ready than Johnny Manziel.
I think everyone in the U.S. is more NFL ready. You take the fucking 6'2", 800-pound fucking fat guy down the street, and he's probably more NFL ready than Johnny Manziel.
100%.
But
do you think Johnny Manziel could play? Could he play anywhere else?
no, Johnny Manziel will never be in the NFL ever again.
No. I don't doubt that. But let's say, look at Terrell Pryor, right? Quarterback for Ohio State, and then he's like, wait, shit, I'm athletic as fuck. I'm gonna go and be
He's too small.
a top 10 wide receiver.
He's too small.
Terrell Pryor?
No, Johnny Manziel. Too small.
Right, too small to be a wide receiver. Right.
He's too small. He's too small, and he's too unathletic to play in the position as quarterback.
He's decently athletic.
He couldn't play free safety. He couldn't play strong safety. He couldn't play cornerback. Those are the only positions he could play. He couldn't play running back. He's too tiny.
Fuck, no, he gets
Couldn't play
starched.
tight end. Couldn't play running back. Couldn't play any position. He can only be a quarterback, and he's too. He's not. He couldn't do it.
Yeah.
The only other player that could play another position that was a quarterback, in my opinion, is Tebow. Tebow should have been a tight end or an H-back type guy. And if
I
Tebow
100% agree.
if Tebow didn't have his head up his ass as much as he did, and want to be a quarterback, if he was a smart motherfucker, it's like, I want to be a cornerback in the NFL. Man, I'm Tebow. Fuck you,
I
Tim
hate
Tebow.
that shit.
No,
Because
bitch.
he's such a freak.
Yeah, you were such a
he
freak
could have been
athlete.
so fucking good.
If
at
you were smart
H-back or tight end.
Yes, if you were a
Or
smart
linebacker,
guy.
maybe.
Offensive side, tight end or H-back.
Yeah,
If he was smart,
that's
when the
true.
Patriots traded for him, he should have consented and been like, use me how you want. Bill Belichick, I am your sex doll. Use me however you want.
Jesus.
Okay, no. The Patriots can take any white boy and turn him into a 5-star
Very
athlete.
true.
Doesn't matter who you are.
Yeah.
If Tebow said that, he could still be in the NFL playing
He'd be
H-back
tearing
tight
it
end.
up.
He's not going to put in 1,000 yards in a single category, but 1,000 yards combined in rushing and receiving. Oh yeah,
100%.
with maybe 10 touchdowns
He'd be like
combined.
he'd be like a Shane Vereen type.
He'd be exactly. He'd be a Shane Vereen type, but with that
Slash power back.
you could line him up at the tight end option.
Mm-hmm.
Like Tebow is such a
Utility guy.
yeah, but I
Maybe
think
play a little slot wide receiver.
yeah, you're slow, but I'm sure you can catch the ball. He's too freak of an athlete for a white boy where
Is
you
he that
can't
slow?
utilize him.
What was his 40? I thought he was decently fast.
I think he ran like a
4.7 kind of guy.
Yeah, I think it's like a
4.6.
4.7. He can't run
I
a
mean, he's
slot.
not burning anyone, but he.
No, but that's what I'm saying though. He could be in there and he's not gonna burn anyone, but he can catch that ball when it's thrown to him.
4.71.
Yeah. So
He's not torching anyone.
Yeah. So like you get him to run a. I mean, I'm sure he's athletic enough to where he could run a simple little slot or a slant.
truck a guy or juke a guy out.
Yeah, I'm sure he could fucking bulldoze the cornerback that's coming at him, but then the fucking. Excuse me, the strong safety comes down. That's like Earl Thomas, and Earl Thomas would probably lay him the fuck out.
But yeah, so okay, so you think Clemson takes us? I hope Clemson does.
I think
I
Clemson
actually
does.
I like Clemson.
I
Not
think
like I'm a
I think
big, like,
Clemson. I think
Clemson
Clemson
fan,
was.
but-
I think Clemson is. I think Alabama's the better team,
Clemson's gonna win it.
but I think Clemson wins it because I think the more complete.
How is
team.
Alabama gonna be next year with like their whole defense when they're leaving?
They'll have one loss in the regular season, and they'll still make the playoffs. They'll win the SEC West. I think they're in, and I think they win the SEC, but they'll have one loss, unless they'll get to the playoffs.
Okay.
The loss will be to either Auburn or LSU, because they have to go to them. It'll be one of those two. They lose either one of those games, or they could lose both. I think they only lose to one of those teams.
Tough.
Yeah, I think they lose the Auburn game because Auburn's returning a lot of starters. I think, and LSU was under a first-year head coach.
You know who I want to see play
LL.
for Auburn?
Hmm.
His homeboy from Last Chance U.
Oh, John Franklin III. Well, he's slotted to be the starter next year.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Which I'm hyped to see.
which would be nice. I mean, just because we've watched it, so yeah, you're gonna get hype behind him,
Yeah, of
which would
course.
be dope.
Yeah, it'd be so cool.
Mm-hmm. Which I'm actually speaking of Last Chance U, their running back there.
John Wall.
Yeah, that's what his name is.
Yeah.
He's at USF.
Yeah.
And Charlie Strong's there, and the next 2 years.
Should I
Apologies.
cough the other way because the mic's right there?
Apologies,
Just
everyone.
FYI.
True. Anyway, so he's there. The reason I bring that up is because at USF, they played Texas, I think, in 5 years. We have 2 years against USC, then 2 years against LSU, and then we have Arkansas and USF in the same year. Which, if Charlie Strong is still there, I think it'd be dope as fuck to have USF and Charlie Strong come back and play Texas. But I think it'd be just cool as fuck.
It'd be kind of cool.
Just being a Texas fan,
Yeah.
as I am. I mean, I'd like to see the former head coach come back and get his shit pushed in and be like, yeah, you weren't as good as you thought that you were.
Fuck off! You were all over Charlie Strong's dick.
Wait.
Please let's
You
stop
didn't
the
let me-
conversation.
You didn't let me
Fuck
finish.
you.
You didn't let me. You cut me off before I could
Oh,
finish.
goodness.
Have Charlie Strong come in to Texas and they get his shit pushed in by Texas and be like, yeah, you weren't as good as you thought you were. Yes, I was on Charlie Strong's dick because I thought I could turn the program around. I truly
You
thought
were on
that.
Charlie Strong's dick until about 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, that's not true at all. I really thought I was on Charlie Strong's dick until he fucking this year went 5-7.
Fuck off! You didn't even want to fire him.
I was on the fence about firing him. I was truly on the fence about firing him.
You were the world's biggest Charlie Strong fan.
No. Negative.
Yeah.
Negative.
If you had a
Negative.
ranking, if you had a fucking robot, if the aliens that made this world created a robot to go around and scan everybody's head to see on a scale of 1 to 100 how much they like Charlie Strong, you would be 100, and the general
Negative.
populace would have an average of about 62.
I don't know about all that.
I do know that.
I was upset that Charlie Strong left because he changed the culture of Texas. And that's what they needed. They needed someone to change the culture and how they did things around Texas. And now that Texas has a new identity, in a sense, and that Tom Herman came in, I'm still on the fence about what Tom Herman can do this year. I'm still on the fence. I don't think we're going to get to 10 wins, is what a lot of people are predicting. If we get to 8 wins in a bowl game, I'd be happy. I'd be a happy guy. I do not see us competing for the Big 12 championship at all this year. At all. Granted,
Granted, the Big 12's kind of trash.
the Big 12 will be kind of trash, but yeah, I don't see Texas competing for the Big 12 championship. I really don't. I think it's going to be a toss up, honestly, between Oklahoma and West Virginia.
Yeah.
That's who I think is going to be the two guys. TCU is in a rebound year, so is Baylor. Oklahoma State is always going to be a contender, but they're never going to. I don't think Oklahoma State will ever win it, personally.
Ever?
No, they'll win it, but I don't think
Not
they're
for a
gonna-
while.
Not for a while. They're always going to be that team that can. They'll be that guy, like,
They're like the Ryan Bader of the Big 12.
basically. Yeah, that's a perfect example. They'll throw some solid punches and make sure that they let you know who they are, but they're never going to really be that, oh, holy shit, you're a top 10 team type guy. So.
You know what? I wish. I don't want to get back into UFC, but I wish there was like college fighting. You know what I mean? Like you get recruited to colleges to go do MMA. That'd be kind of cool, wouldn't
very
it?
cool.
It'd be cool. No, the only reason though why it'd be like a bad idea is
Yeah,
because
but
you already have a short enough career with
Yeah,
UFC.
but then
head
you get
damage.
it's like, oh, but we have wrestling, which is a beautiful gateway to the UFC.
Right.
But
Or like college jujitsu. It'd be kind of cool to
That
see
would
like
be
fighting
dope.
sports take off. That'd be so cool.
that'd be dope. College.
Get recruited to like then there's high school jujitsu. That'd be so sick. I would say fuck football. I probably would have just done jujitsu.
Nah, you probably would have done football.
Yeah, I probably would have.
You probably would.
And then like my senior year, I probably would have been like, hey, I'll give this jiu-jitsu thing a shot. Gone like 1 in 10 in all my matches. Be like, I love this shit. Somehow get recruited to a D7 university for it.
A D7. I like that.
They'd
That's
create my
funny.
own little school for me, and I would play nobody but like my best friends that would be recruited to the same school.
Yep, just be a CDO filtered school.
Yeah, exactly.
You guys collectively in that year would win 1 round.
All right, so you wanted me to pull up the quarterbacks that have multiple Super Bowl rings.
I did, because they're. I was thinking about this on the way over, and a lot of NFL analysts and a lot of players don't have Eli going to the Hall of Fame, which granted we're biased as fuck saying that Eli deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. But I was thinking, it's like, how many quarterbacks who have won at least 2 Super Bowls are not in the Hall of Fame? So what I was thinking is, let's pull up the Super Bowl winners, Super Bowl quarterbacks who've won at least 2 Super Bowls, and see who's in the Hall of Fame.
Okay,
So-
first off, let me just so this one, it says if the universe was a fair and just place. I feel like that should be was. If the universe was whatever. If the universe were a fair and just place, Eli would not have twice as many Super Bowl rings and twice as many Super Bowl MVP awards as his brother. But the universe is not fair and just, it's cold and ruthless, so Peyton is 1-3 in the big game with blowout losses to the Saints and Seahawks, and Eli is 2-0 with 2 improbable victories over vastly superior opponents. First off, fuck whoever wrote that. I mean,
Mhm.
I agree with what they're saying. Like, I think Peyton is the better quarterback. Okay, I've always said that Peyton is the better quarterback.
Mhm.
So, I guess sure, if the universe, if the world was a fair place, then yes, Peyton would have more rings. He'd have more MVPs. But at the same time, like this little article is pretty much saying like what most people say, like Eli Manning's trash. Like, why does everybody hate on Eli Manning? It's not like he's a douchebag. It's not like he's a giant shit talker or like
He's
a
not.
big baby.
He just goes in, does his work. Yes,
Exactly.
Yes,
He's just
he
a
makes.
dude.
Yes, he makes rookie mistakes at a lot of times, but he's. I don't care what it says. He's still a top 10 quarterback.
100%.
Top 10. He's not top 5. He is not
No,
a top 5.
not a
He
top
is
5.
definitely
Don't
a
get it
top 10
twisted.
quarterback.
Yeah.
Definitely a top 10.
And the thing that I hate too is like the same people that bag on Eli are the same kind of people that are like, oh, Odell's only good because he has a Super Bowl quarterback thrown to him. It's like, well, sir.
Oh, so he has a quarterback
does he
throwing to
suck?
him.
Does he suck or is he good?
Oh,
Which
yeah.
one is it?
So what is it? Yeah. So
Like, I just hate that. I feel like everybody just kind of hates on Eli and Odell and twist
Yeah,
them
they-
whichever way
yeah, exactly.
they can.
They
like,
hate- they
Eli,
hate
Eli isn't good without Odell, and Odell isn't good without Eli. Like, listen, bitch.
So what the fuck is it then?
Who
So
is
is
it?
Eli not a good quarterback and Odell's just a great wide receiver who makes Eli look good, or is Eli a great quarterback and who makes Odell look good? What the fuck is it? Make up your minds. I mean, put Odell with the fucking Browns. Is he still doing what he's doing?
He'd be like,
No, he
he'd
wouldn't.
be like twice as good as Terrell Pryor.
He would be better than Charles Pryor. People
Right,
would be like,
exactly.
this kid is gonna leave the Browns and go someplace better. I mean, you put Eli in the Browns. Is the Browns gonna win a Super Bowl? Probably not.
No.
It's the same fucking thing. You're just using a shitty team for a perfect example.
Yeah.
You put either one of those guys on that team who drafted him and is there and playing exactly
They're
how
not
they
going
are.
to get any more wins.
Exactly. They're not going to get any more wins than what they are because the Browns are a shitty team. Regardless. I mean, they make each other better.
Ben Roethlisberger.
Going to the Hall of Fame.
Going to the Hall of Fame.
Just keep going.
Which is weird, though, because I've always considered Eli to be a better quarterback than Ben.
I have to.
And a lot of people in the NFL, a lot of wide receivers that have, played with or against or for both of them, a
Have
lot of them have
said
consistently
Eli
said
is
Eli
better.
is the better quarterback. Don't get me wrong, I think Ben Roethlisberger is a good quarterback.
He's a great
Don't get it
quarterback.
twisted, but I feel like a lot of people ride his dick
They do.
hard.
Okay, so Big Ben, Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame.
John Elway, in the Hall of Fame.
In the Hall of Fame.
Jim Plunkett, I think he's in the Hall of Fame.
Is he?
I don't know, I can't tell you. I think he's in the Hall of Fame.
Shout out to the internet.
Yeah, right? Hashtag Google.
Nope.
Nope. Okay, so keep going. Alright, not in the Hall of Fame.
Also play on the Raiders.
They play in the Raiders.
Staubach.
In the Hall of Fame.
Oh, Hall of Fame. Look at that janky fucking throw. Look at
Looks
that.
like, looks
Look
like
at that
Tebow.
70s throwing form.
Right?
70s Bush. Bob Grease.
Bob Greasy.
Hall of Famer.
Yep.
Anybody that played in the 40s and you still know their names.
Yep.
Hall of Fame.
Bart Starr.
Bart Starr. Hall
Oh,
of
Hall of Fame.
Fame. 100%.
Oh, yeah.
Troy Aikman. Hall
In the
of Fame.
Hall of Fame. Terry Bradshaw.
Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame. 1-4, but Hall of Fame.
Even though Eli Manning has better numbers than him, even though
Terry
people
Bradshaw was a
consider
more
him short.
average quarterback. He'd be like a top 20 quarterback now, but whatever. Joe
Joe
Montana,
Montana, Hall of Famer.
Hall of Fame, best quarterback ever, possibly.
Possibly.
And then Tom
Tom
fucking
Brady,
Brady, who
Hall
is
of Fame.
probably the best quarterback ever to play football.
Even though you just said Joe Montana.
Joe Montana, you can make a
It's a
hard
toss-up-
case.
toss-up
It's a
between
very
the
hard.
two.
Okay, so at the top, we'll say 10 minus Eli.
Minus Eli and
Minus
Staub- Eli and...
No, just minus Eli. Just minus Eli. Just because he was 11.
Oh, okay.
So just taking the top 10 quarterbacks
I
who have
think-
won 2 Super Bowls, at least 2 Super Bowls.
I think this is the only. I think that these are the only quarterbacks that have won.
Okay,
Super
so
Bowls.
the only quarterbacks who have won, we'll say the only quarterbacks who have won 2 Super Bowls, out of the top 10, only one isn't a Hall of Fame.
One out of the top. This isn't a. I don't think it's a ranking list.
Okay,
It's
either
kind
way, out of the 10 quarterbacks then, oops, sorry, I didn't mean to hit that.
of- Fuck.
Out of the 10 quarterbacks who have won at least 2 Super Bowls, only one isn't a Hall of Fame, and Eli has won 2 and 2 Super Bowl MVPs. How the fuck can you not say that he's a Hall of Fame quarterback? Which blows my mind. And the one sports announcer who we both hate more than anybody else in this world who's sports announcers, Joe Buck,
Fucking hate Joe Buck.
says Eli is a Hall of Fame quarterback. Kind of
Yeah.
change your opinion just a
Just
little
a-
bit.
just a little bit.
Just a smidge. Not a lot. It maybe turns it one notch up.
But
But
it's from like a 3.5 to a 4.
exactly. Oh no!
I just
Yeah,
wanna
right there.
I just
Oh,
wanna look.
college football. Never mind.
I just want to look at Jim Plunkett's stats.
But right there, it just shows you that Eli should be a Hall of Fame quarterback. There's no reason why he shouldn't be. Granted, he has some of the best memes of all time, I think, for
100%.
quarterbacks in the NFL. I mean, some of the best memes. I love Eli.
Okay,
memes.
so Jim Plunkett isn't in the Hall of Fame. He also has about 34 more interceptions than he does touchdowns. 20,000 yards less than Eli Manning and a 67.5 pass rating. Okay, if Jim
What's
Plunkett...
Eli's passer rating?
I think it's like a 70-something... 83.7.
Really?
Oh my god, look at this fucker. He looks like he's like... He looks like that kid whose parents just forced him to play Pee-wee football, and he's like...
It's like, oh, I
Fuck,
guess...
I can't wait to get home and play Xbox.
Can't wait to get home and play Minecraft.
God damn it.
He looks like the kind of kid in that picture that would literally play Minecraft. Eli still looks like that kid who would go home and play Minecraft instead of watching
Looks
film.
so goofy.
Look at those
Oh my
thigh
God.
pads.
He's the goofiest motherfucker of all
Mhm.
time. That's what me and Taylor were talking about yesterday. Is we were saying we're like, the reason why we both love Eli is because he's just a fucking dude. He just looks like a dude.
He is.
He just
does.
looks like he always looks like he's like. He'll get like blindsided by fucking
James
Earl
Harris.
Thomas and
Yeah.
James Harris at the same time in the Pro Bowl. Get killed, have 7 concussions at once, and just get up and be like. You know what I mean? He
Shit.
just looks like
That
he just
happened.
looks so like.
He's like,
about
"Can I-"
everything.
Walks to the silent coach. Can I go play Minecraft in the locker room?
He's such a dweeby looking guy. And it's exactly why I love him. Maybe that's
Yeah.
why everybody hates him. He's like, because they're all like, God, fuck him for being such a dude.
You know, I can see that. I can totally
I just don't
see
get it
that.
though. I don't know why everybody hates on Eli Manning.
It's
I
probably
don't-
because
why?
he should be more elite than what he shows. Because he has so much more talent, and he still makes stupid mistakes.
It's a different kind of hate though. I feel like everybody
Yeah,
that
but
hates
if
on
you-
Eli
if
Manning
you-
is like,
if you
fuck
look
him
at-
and shit.
Yeah, but if you look at a bunch of his stats, though, like, when he gets sacked, he fumbles the ball so fucking much. Like, he doesn't protect the ball. He doesn't do what Payton does. When Eli sees a sack coming, he's like, oh, I can still make a play, oh, fumble. Payton's like, oh, shit, sack, I'll just go down.
Yeah.
Like, that's what Eli should do. And he
Yeah,
does
Eli,
that.
yeah.
Eli does that from time to time, but
He does make plays.
He does make plays.
Shout out to the 2007 Super Bowl.
Yeah, big
Helmet
shout out.
catch.
Big shout out. But I feel like people still compare him to his brother too much.
I agree. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why everybody hates him. Like if Peyton Manning never existed and Eli Manning was just, you know, he was just another quarterback.
Like if
I bet you
if
more
Peyton
less
and
people would
Cooper
hate
went
him.
into business together type thing. Like if they went into business together and it was just Archie and Eli in the NFL, they don't think compare him to.
Right.
I mean, besides his father, his dad wasn't a bad football player.
No, I think he's a Hall of
I think his dad's in the Hall of Fame. Is he?
Archie Manning, right?
Archie Manning, yeah.
Hall of Fame.
When he was in college football, he was in the NFL Hall of Fame. I mean, he was loyal as fuck to the Saints
Oh, let's see.
during
Career
the shitty
highlights.
years.
Pro Bowler, NFC Offensive Player of the Year.
No.
Not a Hall of Fame. I could have sworn he was a Hall of Famer. That's weird.
No.
I mean,
Which
he's
a lot of
he's
people
not.
a lot of people think that he also won a Super Bowl, but he never won a Super Bowl.
No. Also, not really a great quarterback.
No, but he was on the Saints. And they were
Shitty Saints.
the shitty Saints, and he was loyal as fuck to that team too. Kind of like the Drew Brees, but Drew Brees is hands down better quarterback.
Drew Brees is fucking phenomenal.
No, Drew Brees threw for 5,200 yards this season.
Fucking
5,200.
How old is he? Like 36? He's old as shit.
He's old as fuck. He's like the second oldest quarterback next to
He's old as-
Tom Brady.
He's old as dirt, and he's also shorter than me.
Yeah, he's old.
Age 37. Jesus cock.
Like, go pull up his stats though. I think the past out of the last 5 or 6 years, he's on for over 5,000 yards.
96.3 passer rating, 465
The dude
touchdowns, and
is-
220 interceptions.
He is an anomaly. He's an anomaly among quarterbacks.
There's way too many sixes here for me to be comfortable. His percentage is 66.64, with his passing yards being 6,611. His career passing yards.
It's insane.
That's
And he's
wild.
what, 5'6"?
No, he's 5'11.
Like I said, 5'6". But a quarterback that's 5'11" though.
Yeah,
you
that's
need to be
wild.
at least 6'2" in the NFL.
Yeah.
And he's 5'11", but he also has his release is way the fuck up here though, above his head. He has a stupid high release. And he's always had that though, because he's a smart guy. Right there, go to his stats.
Look at his seps. Jesus fuck. Look at those dad arms.
Yeah, with those fucking veins that we could
Enormous, man.
never hope to have.
No, not happening.
Never.
Jesus Christ.
That's impressive. Right there.
What are you
So we think for okay. So he's thrown for over 5,000 yards in 4 seasons, which is
Five.
in 5 seasons, and they're all with New Orleans. It's insane.
Oh yeah, remember when he was on San Diego way back when?
Well, yeah, he was with San Diego, and then
Yeah,
he
yeah.
got injured, and then they drafted Phil Rivers the year before, and they're like, oh, we'll take Phil
But they're
Rivers, and
kicking
he
themselves in the head for that one.
Mm-hmm. Well, the Chargers have to draft Eli.
Yeah, I know. And then they traded him because Eli was like, "Fuck the Chargers." I wonder why that is.
However, though, I truly believe that if we traded Phillip Rivers for Eli Manning, the Giants and the Chargers would still have the exact same scenario since 2004. Like, the Giants would still have 2 Super Bowls, and the Chargers would still be shit.
I don't know, dude. I think Phillip Rivers
because of the Giants' defense those 2 years. Because of those defense.
That's true.
That's the only reason. Because
Phillip
of that
Rivers
defense.
wouldn't have 2 MVPs though.
He might have at least one with the Giants, though. I mean, I truly believe still, like I said, that if Eli and Phil Rivers stayed with their respective teams, the Giants would still have the same history.
Well, now I look like an asshole. I just said Phillip Rivers is a subpar quarterback.
No, Phil Rivers is a really good quarterback, even though he's a
Some
fucking.
fantastic stats.
Even though he wears tiny little pee-wee pads.
I don't know why I dislike Phillip Rivers.
Because he has 9 kids. Actually, he has
Isn't
7
he Mormon?
kids. I don't know if he's Mormon or not, but he has 7 kids. That's a fact. I know he has at least 7 kids. It's insane.
Fuck. Somebody needs to chill out. Learn how to wrap your willy, you fuck.
Well, he has 7 kids, and then I think he has adopted like 3 other kids.
Alright, well, then you can't bash him.
No, like he's a really good guy, and he loves San Diego. I mean, he wouldn't love San Diego. I mean, I hated San Diego personally, but a normal person would probably love it. I just hated San Diego.
You know what else pisses me off? You know what pisses me off more than average UFC fans, more than people that think Ronda Rousey was gonna beat Holly Holm or
Nunez.
beat Amanda Nunes, more than fucking something else that I dislike that I haven't mentioned is people that call LaDainian Tomlinson LT and don't give respect to Lawrence Taylor. If you were to say, "Hey man, I think Lawrence Taylor's the real LT," I just say LaDainian Tomlinson is LT because it's easier to say than fucking LaDainian Tomlinson. It's 7.5 syllables. Fuck those people. LT is the real LT.
Mm-hmm.
I hate those motherfuckers that are like, dude,
But
LaDainian Tomlinson's the real LT.
But like
Bitch, please, get outta
I've
here.
said before, though, is that our generation's LT was the name of Thompson.
I don't give a shit.
I'm just saying that's what people have gotten used to, and that's what people know is that that's what this generation knows is Lawrence Taylor, or LaDainian Tomlinson as LT.
Unbelievable.
Our parents' generation LT was Lawrence Taylor, hands down. This generation's LT was LaDainian Tomlinson. Who knows? When we have kids, there might be another one coming up whose name is fucking
Laquel.
Tyreek.
Wait, no, Laquan Treadwell. He was homeboy out of.
I know what you're talking about. Oh yeah, the wide receiver.
Yeah, from Ole Miss.
Oh, dude, the beast. Well, in college.
Really?
at least.
1 reception for 15
In
yards.
college.
Damn, he's good.
In college. I correct myself, in college.
What happened to him? Did he get injured?
Yeah, hopefully he was
Or did he
injured.
just suck?
Hopefully he was injured. I mean, shit.
I hope so, because he was really, really good in
He was
college.
really good.
I hate seeing busts, except for Johnny Manziel, because he's a little cock boy.
Yeah, because John Manziel's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
He's god awful in the NFL.
You know, though, I bet you a lot of dudes are also pieces of shit. They just don't get that national spotlight, so we just don't know about it. But hey, it's not my job. It's not my job to research dudes' background. You're fucking coughing all over my bed, and you're gonna get me sick, you asshole.
You'll survive.
I don't think I will. Oh, I hate you. You're sitting over there.
Alright.
And then you breathe on me. God damn it! I have the immune system of a fly. You fuck. I'm gonna get sick.
Must suck to suck.
Hold on, let's see. Yeah, I think he was just injured.
Hopefully he was just injured, because that dude had too much talent.
That's what it looks like.
That much of a bust.
Yeah. I don't want to start reading into shit. I can do it later, but yeah, it looks like yeah, let's see.
Oh, into the anime world real quick. So, You seen the Digimon movie, right? When they had Ty and I think Matt. No, they had Agumon and Gagumon, and they did that first Digimon fusion, and they took out what's his nuts in the cyber world or
I've
whatever.
not seen it, or if I have, I don't.
It's been years probably, but anyway, there's apparently a Digidestin movie from the original one. They take like the original Digidestin people, and it took that movie and it went 3 years into the future. Like basically said fuck every other timeline and made their own one.
Huh.
So.
Oh yeah, so right here it says that Treadwell has struggled to get playing time in Minnesota's offense, getting only 1 catch for 15 yards, but he's awesome in dealing with injuries. So you could say that it's just injuries that have kept him back from playing, or you could say he's a bust.
Let's go with injuries.
I would like to.
Look at Clowney on the Texans, who's actually had a very good year.
Really good. I'm surprised
He's had a
ESPN
very
isn't
good
like. Remember how they were all over him for a while?
For the longest time until he finally had enough injuries. But, like he's actually had a pretty solid year.
Dude, he has
so
the
far.
sickest fucking dreads. They're so dope.
I will
They're
agree.
so fucking big.
I will agree. Like his stats this year are solid. And Vince Wilfork said that he may be the best defensive player the Texans have, and they have J.J. Watt. That says something. And that's Vince Wilfork.
Yeah.
And Vince Wilfork it's Vince
Dude,
Wilfork.
okay, you know what? I saw this mock draft that had the Texans drafting after the Giants this year, which would mean that the Texans went farther in the playoffs than the Giants. Fuck those people.
Fuck that. I mean,
Granted, though, the Cowboys
I don't know.
Giants have a
The
tough
Raiders
schedule.
Texans game intrigues me a lot more than any other game in the wild card.
Ooh,
It
yeah.
really that game intrigues me a lot
If
more.
Raiders had Derek Carr, wouldn't be a game.
Wouldn't be a game. Oh no. But because they have Connor Cook playing and the Texans now have Brock Osweiler, which is a $72 million bust, which you can completely say, this game intrigues me a lot more. I mean, what defense shows up? That's my biggest question. What defense will show up? So.
Alright, well, I think it's about that time. Wrap it up. We
I
have
do
given you
too.
fucks 2 hours.
Y'all better be gracious, you 5 listeners who listen to the whole thing.
Dude, look at the number of ads that have been blocked from Total Sports.
How many?
105.
That's impressive.
Jesus fuck.
Good
Shout
lord.
out to Adblock.
Damn right.
Alright.
Alright, you silly little fucks. This has been the ACPC podcast. I am your co-host, Arlo the Deli Man Christensen, with my little brother, Peter Christensen, as always. Keep it easy.
See ya, you fucks.